the supreme dragon of the era of Tamers. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 376, Dragon Scale. Seeing Ji-Ren sending out his trump card pet, the infinite red dragon, Su Chengshan put down his hands, and his gaze towards Chen Wei not only became extremely solemn, but also the pride on his face dissipated a lot. As an outstanding graduate of Zidane University, Ji-Ren's strength can be said to be extremely strong, and he has been ranked in the top 3 on the SYNOPSIS list for many years. Even if it weren't for the fact that the seniors of the same class as Ji-Ren successfully graduated in June this year, I'm afraid that Su Chengshan would not be able to reach the second place on the SYNOPSIS list. If Chen Wei can really defeat Ji-Ren in front of everyone, it means that Chen Wei has the strength to top the SYNOPSIS list. Thinking of this possibility, Su Chengshan subconsciously clenched his fists. Didn't Senior Ji go to the 10,000 Beasts mountain range to train and seek a breakthrough? I didn't expect to see him here. It seems that Senior Sister is well prepared for this exhibition match. Lu Kaiyan's eyes flickered slightly, and she looked at Chen Wei with a little more curiosity. After all, the celebration banquet was just a banquet, so there was only one exhibition match this time. She and Su Chengshan didn't have the opportunity to show themselves on stage. For this, she envied Chen Wei very much. In her eyes, this exhibition match was a way for the sect to build momentum for senior brother Chen Wei. As long as senior brother Chen Wei could tie with senior Ji and show his strength, senior brother Chen would definitely be the leader of the new generation of Beastmasters. Even the talented Beastmasters who were also called the 4 Little Heavenly Kings this year could not be compared with senior brother Chen. As for the possibility of senior Ji losing, Lu Kaiyan didn't even dare to think about it, because that was impossible. The infinite red dragon, looking at this fierce dragon, Chen Wei narrowed his eyes slightly, and his delusion-breaking spiritual eyes activated instantly. Pet name, Wuji Red Dragon. Pet attributes, Fire, Dragon. Racial level, Brilliant King. Strength level, 5th order middle. Racial skills, Wuji Hunting, Purple Flame Dragon Light, Wuji Hell, Burning Dragon Breath, Burning Mountain Ancient Flame, King's Pressure. Pet introduction, Wuji Red Dragon is a fire dragon species with a relatively fierce and domineering personality among the ancient dragon species. Its destructive power is extremely terrifying. The dragon tail behind it will burst out amazing purple flames due to its strong fighting spirit in the battle, and greatly enhance its strength. It is an ancient dragon that becomes stronger when facing a strong opponent, and can even burn mountains and boil seas, so it is called Wuji Fire Ancient Dragon. The last battle was sent by Yutuang, and it's Kailing's turn next. Chen Wei's mind moved, and under the shining of a brilliant white light, Kailing looked at Wuji Red Dragon calmly, and her momentum was not inferior at all. The ice and fire elements restrain each other, but because the strength level of the Wuji Red Dragon is much higher than that of Kailing, to some extent, Kailing is the restrained party. In a battle against the reverse attributes, this disciple of Grandmaster Han is really ambitious. A big man sitting in the front row of the venue sighed slightly restrainedly. If the venue is not unsuitable, he would even want to ask whether this freshman number 1 knows how to fight. Not only is there a clear gap in the strength and level of the pets of both sides, but the attributes of the pets sent out are also restrained. Is this really a show match instead of a one-sided abuse? The normal source energy value reaches 10W. Judging from the color of the dragon scales and the purple flames on the tail, Ji-Ren's Wuji Red Dragon has been cultivated very well. Han Jiao nodded slightly. From the depth of the color of the purple flame, the Wuji Red Dragon's Wuji Hunting should have reached the mastery level. Combined with Ji-Ren's innate talent, reverse dragon scales, this battle should be very exciting, Tan Zuking said with a smile. As we all know, Ji-Ren's innate talent, the dragon scale, has the ability to defeat the strong with the weak. The stronger the opponent, the stronger the strength Ji-Ren can add to the Wuji Red Dragon. Coupled with the Wuji Red Dragon's characteristic of becoming stronger when it encounters a strong opponent and the normal source energy value of up to 10W, even junior brother Chen Wei has a chance of turning over. However, this battle is a show match after all, and the victory or defeat does not matter. Junior brother Chen just needs to show his heroic style. Hearing this, Lu Kaiyan curiously put on the advanced source energy glasses and looked at Kailing. The normal source energy value is 5W, Isn't the gap between the two sides a bit big? Liu Kaiyan couldn't help but smacked his lips. Interesting. As far as I know, Kailing's race level is obviously just a transcendent leader, but the normal source energy value has reached the level of a 4th level king race. Liu Mengeng's beautiful eyes shrank, and curiosity appeared on her face. As a senior researcher, she knew very well that the classification of pet races was mainly to distinguish the upper limit of the pet strength under natural growth, and the normal source energy value of pets was one of the important criteria for appraisers to measure the pet's race level. Could it be that the appraisers in Shushan City made a mistake? There is no dragon below the king race in this world, Liu Mengeng, who did not know the secret of the dragon essence, guessed in her heart. The battle begins. Chu Shui gave an order. Infinite Hell. As soon as the battle started, Jiren immediately commanded the Infinite Red Dragon to release the dual domain skills of Fire and Dragon to test the strength of the dragon in front of him. After all, this was an exhibition match. Even if he was extremely serious about the battle, he would not let the Red Dragon release the ultimate move without emotional intelligence. In order to avoid a huge gap in strength between the two sides and the attribute restrained, his pet would directly kill the opposite dragon in seconds, which would be too embarrassing. The next second, the Wuji Red Dragon exuded terrifying flames all over its body. With the flames erupting from its feet as the center, the majestic fire source energy quickly expanded towards the opposite platform, and the platform was instantly covered by blazing flames. If this ice dragon is not as good as its name and can't even survive the Wuji Hell, then end the battle within 3 rounds. Looking at the sea of fire in front of him that was emitting infinite heat, Jiren frowned slightly. He could have such an idea. After all, even if he was standing on the ring at this time, Jiren still didn't believe from the bottom of his heart that a boy 6 years younger than him could be on par with him. You are worthy of being the apprentice of Lao Tan. You use this hand of flame manipulation well, feeling the extreme high temperature and the super high efficiency of source power utilization. The head of the battle department Shan Honggai's eyes lit up slightly. The fire legend Tan Yongzi's overlapping flame flow is a combat technique that stacks violent flames many times in battle, and finally erupts all at once to kill the opponent instantly. However, Jiren took a different approach and hid the superimposed flame power in the Wuji Hell skill. This approach might lose some of the superimposed dragon flame damage because the area is too scattered, but it can burst out a fatal blow at a critical moment. Always stay vigilant in the battle, and arrange means to deal with this subsequent battle situation while releasing skills. Jiren really doesn't leave Chen Wei any chance. Seeing this scene, the expressions of the Beastmasters in the venue also became serious. Chapter 377, The Promise Hunt. Crack, crack, the flame-shrouded battle platform was filled with a sound of ice breaking, followed by beautiful ice crystals falling from Kailing's elegant body. Yin, Kailing looked at the Infinite Red Dragon and let out a provocative dragon roar. The space suddenly trembled, and an extremely cold breath suddenly burst out from her body. Boom! Under the fierce collision of the two domain-type skills of Frozen Absolute Domain and Infinite Hell, one side of the platform was covered by raging fire, and the other side was covered by a vast ice field of snow. Under the interweaving of ice and fire, hazy water vapor filled the center of the entire venue. Jiren looked at the dragon opposite, whose entire body was like an ice crystal, and a trace of contempt flashed in his eyes. He ordered, burn the dragon's breath. Judging from the breath of this dragon, its strength is only at most the 4th level. If he were 6 years old, he would definitely not be able to match Chen Wei. But now there is a gap in strength between a large level and a small level, and he can't think of any reason for the Infinite Red Dragon to fail. Hearing this, Wuji Crimson Dragon's eyes condensed, and a terrifyingly powerful dark purple fireball quietly formed in its mouth, and it attacked Kailing at a very fast speed with a burst of air explosion in the air. Looking at the purple breath coming, Kailing's body moved, and the blue dragon scales flashed with black light. The dragon blood in her body quickly boiled and condensed, turning into an illusory dragon swimming around her body. This is the Holy Dragon Entanglement. Seeing this secret technique of the Dragon Clan, the Beastmasters in the venue stared at Kailing in amazement, and even Tanzuking and Hanjiao had a bit of surprise in their eyes. You know, the Holy Dragon Entanglement is a secret technique of the Dragon Clan, which can only be mastered by the 6th level King Dragon and the 7th level Overlord True Dragon. What did they see in the end? A 4th level dragon could actually use the Holy Dragon Entanglement to crystallize the dragon blood all over his body. Jiren has already lost this game, Shan Hongai sighed. He knew very well that the moment the Holy Dragon entanglement appeared, Jiren had no chance of winning. Even though the normal energy value of the Kongming Frost Flood Dragon is only 50,000, its energy value can soar to 500,000, or even millions, under the blessing of the Holy Dragon. In short, this dragon is no longer something that can be dealt with by those below the 6th level. Therefore, it is not the Wuji Red Dragon that is widening the gap in strength now, but the Kongming Frost Flood Dragon. What? As expected, under Jiren's shocked eyes, the Wuji Red Dragon's burning dragon breath, which was enough to instantly defeat or even kill the 5th level commanding beast, bombarded the Kongming Frost Flood Dragon, but it was annihilated without even a ripple. Boom. Kayling ignored the sparks exploding on her body, and her body instantly crossed a distance of dozens of meters to the side of the Wuji Red Dragon, and a pair of terrifying dragon claws that cut through space fiercely grabbed its wings. How can this dragon power be more terrifying than the Wuji Red Dragon? Jiren's face changed, and he quickly ordered, "Purple Flame Dragon Light, roar." The Wuji Red Dragon roared, and the extremely powerful fire source power in its body exploded like the sun. A blazing flame condensed on its dragon horn, and it rushed towards the terrifying dragon claw that almost filled its vision with the momentum of piercing the sky. However, facing the desperate attack of the Wuji Red Dragon, which tried to exchange injuries for injuries, the special source power around Kayling fluctuated, and her figure disappeared instantly, and then the dragon claw continued to accurately grab its wings. Boom! Violent flames and biting cold air erupted from the dragon claws of Kayling and the Wuji Red Dragon when they collided. The Wuji Red Dragon let out a painful roar, and the huge dragon body slammed into the battle stage like a meteorite, raising deep gullies and thick smoke and dust. Infinite hunting flame. Jiren gritted his teeth and ordered, trying to use fast attack and defense to consume Kayling's state. You know, activating the Holy Dragon entanglement requires a high concentration of energy and spirit. Even the Infinite Red Dragon has not been able to learn the Holy Dragon entanglement so far. He doesn't believe that the Kongming Frost Dragon in front of him can maintain the crystallized state of dragon blood for a long time. Boom boom boom. As Jiren's voice fell, the large area of flames on the platform instantly boiled, and the majestic energy fluctuations burst out, like a muffled thunder, and a series of deafening explosions exploded on the stage. Is this still an exhibition match? I'm afraid they are angry. Looking at the explosions that kept rising on the battle stage, the expressions of all the strong men watching the game off the field were condensed. It's useless. Chen Wei shook his head slightly. End it all with frost. Holy Dragon entanglement ice tornado. A fierce light flashed across Kayling's pale golden eyes, and the crystallized dragon blood energy in her body burst out, and the frost that froze the world fell one after another. Wherever the snowflakes passed, whether it was violent flames or surging source power, everything on the platform was frozen into ice by the frost, and the continuous explosion stopped immediately. Looking at the countless ice dragons in front of him, and the fire source power that was suppressed by the ice source power to the point that it could hardly be activated, the pupils of the Wuji Red Dragon shrank, and his heart was full of disbelief. It did not expect that it, who was born from the flames, would not be able to activate the purple flame one day. Such a painful blow even weakened the fierce dragon power that permeated its body. You know, its Wuji purple flame is the king's flame that can burn mountains and boil seas, but compared with the frost in front of it, it is like a ball of fire hitting an endless iceberg with no visible peak. Even its purple flame will be frozen by the endless frost. How can it be so strong? Obviously, my strength is still above this dragon. Such a thought flashed through the mind of the Wuji Red Dragon, and then it subconsciously looked at Jiren. Or is it that my beast master is too bad? Feeling the doubt raised by Wuji Red Dragon, Jiren's face darkened, and the source power in his body was running to the extreme, and all the source power was poured into his innate talent, the dragon scale. As Jiren's momentum rose steadily, a strong red light burst out from his body. Wuji Red Dragon instantly extinguished the distracting thoughts in his heart and began to concentrate on feeling the qualitative change of the source power in his body. I saw violent flames burning fiercely on the surface of Wuji Red Dragon. The high temperature that was terrifying enough to distort the space spread from the Red Dragon scales, and the heavy heat waves that were set off seemed to evaporate the entire battle stage. Boom! Under Kayling's surprised eyes, the frozen and desolate area it constructed even showed a tendency to collapse. The last blow of Wuji hunting, Jiren said with great vigor. He believed that this blow was enough to completely defeat this evil opponent. Yes, that's right. After experiencing this battle, Ji-Ren's concept of Chen Wei changed from a potential rookie to a strong opponent worthy of serious treatment. Unfortunately, unless your Wuji Red Dragon can reach the 6th level, you will definitely not be a match for K-Ling. Feeling Ji-Ren's amazing belief, Chen Wei shook his head slightly. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 378, Legendary Talent. Although K-Ling's whole body Holy Dragon Wrap can only last for 5 minutes, if it lasts longer, there will be a risk that part of the dragon blood will be permanently crystallized. But as the saying goes, higher risk, high return. K-Ling, who used the Holy Dragon Wrap to soar her normal source energy value to 40W, has already possessed a combat power close to that of a 6th level king pet at this moment. Coupled with the ice tornado that has been cultivated to perfection, even if K-Ling is now facing a 6th level king pet, Chen Wei has the confidence to retreat safely after a short fight, not to mention the 5th level middle level Wuji Red Dragon in front of him. But because it is now an exhibition match, Chen Wei is not in a hurry to let K-Ling defeat the opponent and win, but let K-Ling let Wuji Red Dragon show its most powerful posture while charging the ice tornado. Wuji Red Dragon spread its wings and soared into the sky, and circles of purple terrifying flames shrank rapidly and gathered into a twisted light bullet, emitting a 5-pointed star. The countless flaming dragons in the light bomb seemed to be ready to move, and the scorching heat even made some young beast masters watching the game feel dry in their mouths. As the signature skill of the Infinite Red Dragon, the Infinite Hunt has 2 ways to release it. One way is to use the flame field of the Infinite Hunt to carry out large-scale continuous bombing, which is very useful for clearing out miscellaneous soldiers. The other way is to combine with Ji-Ren's innate talent to sublimate the purple flame on the tail of the Infinite Red Dragon and transform it into countless hunting dragons that devour everything. When Ji-Ren was training in the 10,000 Beasts mountain range, he used this move to fight a king-level beastmaster for a short time without losing. You can let me use this move in the exhibition match, Chen Wei. You are indeed stronger than the rumors. Ji-Ren looked at Chen Wei with a burning gaze, and couldn't help clenching his fists. Ended with a nice tornado, Chen Wei didn't care what Ji-Ren was thinking. This was just an exhibition match, and what he had to do was very simple, that is, to win this battle with unquestionable strength. As K-Ling exhaled a breath of cold air, the extreme ice formed on the frozen and desolate area on the platform suddenly burst into endless chill, and continued to break and condense into dozens of beautiful ice dragons emitting extremely low temperatures. At the moment the ice dragon appeared, terrifying frost and snowflakes suddenly descended, as if the sky was collapsing and the earth was cracking. Countless powerful ice tornadoes roared out from behind K-Ling. Faced with this horrifying scene, not to mention Ji-Ren who was facing the enemy head-on, even the Beastmasters who were watching the battle on the side showed a look of doubt on their faces. This terrifying ice power has obviously exceeded the level of the 4th level elite and the 5th level commander, and even reached the standard of the 6th level king. I will never lose. Feeling this terrifying power comparable to the 6th level king, Ji-Ren was shocked in his heart, but under the effect of the dragon scales, an unyielding will emerged. The Infinite Hunting Group Dragons, influenced by this, the Infinite Red Dragon roared, and flames ignited all over his body. Even though its momentum was at a disadvantage at this moment, it gave people a feeling of risking their lives. Boom! The flame beam gathered by the Wuji Red Dragon split like a meteor shower when it approached K-Ling, and turned into countless roaring fire dragons scrambling to bite K-Ling. At the same time, a series of frost storms that were large enough to cover the sky and the sun collided with the fire dragons. Roar! Feeling that his group of dragons were at a disadvantage, the Wuji Red Dragon let out a dragon roar unwillingly. The flame light bullets gathered in front of him seemed to have received a strong blessing, and the number of fire dragons that emerged suddenly increased. Under the shocked eyes of the crowd, the mighty group of ice dragons and fire dragons were covered by the strong light. The battle stage was full of debris, and the roaring shock wave almost broke the defense shield set up on the stage. It's over. This is not a battle of the same level at all. Fortunately, it's just an exhibition match, otherwise Ji-Ren's reputation as a genius would be discounted. Look at what you said. Being defeated by Chen Wei might be Ji-Ren's highlight moment, Master Han really has a good disciple. Even though the smoke and dust on the battle stage had not dissipated, the Beastmasters present had already used their mental power to sense who was the final winner, and they all looked at Chen Wei on the stage with fiery eyes. In this day and age, a 6th level King Beastmaster can be called a Beastmaster, and this year Chen Wei is only 19 years old. He has been a formal Beastmaster for only more than a year, and he has a combat power comparable to that of a 6th level king. This is crazy for the masters present. However, what is more concerning is that Chen Wei is only 19 years old now, and he has such a terrible combat power. If he is given another 10 years, or even 100 years, how terrifying a strong man will Chen Wei be by then? Epic? Or legend? Thinking of this possibility, Xiang Honggai looked at Han Jiao with some envy, and sighed in his heart, there is someone to succeed him. You know, it is difficult to become a legend. Even if he is a legendary master, it is a slim hope to train a legendary disciple to take over before his lifespan is exhausted. At this time, there are many legendary masters in the venue who have the same idea as Xiang Honggai. Over the years, there have been many evil geniuses in Donghua, but on the way to growth, there will always be geniuses who will fall halfway because of experience or breakthrough. Now Han Jiao has broken through to become a grandmaster alchemist with strong power. With her escort and resources pouring out, with Chen Wei's evil talent that surprised the legendary masters, it may not take 100 years for Donghua to have another legendary master. As the snow stopped falling on the battle stage, the flames extinguished, and the Wuji Red Dragon, who fell into coma and fell into the deep ravine on the ground, gradually appeared in front of everyone. Have you exhausted all your energy? You are indeed the Wuji Qilin, who is famous for his strong and domineering personality. Looking at the Wuji Qilin, whose face still had some reluctance, Chen Wei exhaled heavily, and then bowed according to the rules of the exhibition match. Thank you. It must be said that among all the Beastmasters Chen Wei had fought, Wuji Qilin could be said to be a unique one. And even reminded him of the Hanliuli dragon on Yongli Island. In general, he was very satisfied with this exhibition match. The winner is Chen Wei. After Chu Shuai announced the result of the exhibition match, the medical staff at the edge of the fighting stage immediately went up to the stage to treat Wuji Qilin. Under the auspices of Chu Shuai, after briefly saying a few words of gratitude for becoming a disciple, Chen Wei returned to his seat under the astonished eyes of everyone. Congratulations, senior brother, for winning, Su Chengshin congratulated. Compared with the previous reluctant call of senior brother, this time he called it with conviction. He had fought with Ji Ren in his junior year, and the result was a miserable defeat. Even Ji Ren couldn't defeat senior brother Chen, so he didn't think he had the qualifications to put on airs now. Chapter 379, The Three Ultimate Treasures. After the banquet, Liu Menging wanted to take Chen Wei to study the new form of the titanium crystal puppet, but Teacher Han's words made Chen Wei wait until 10 o'clock in the evening. There are few old friends who need to entertain, so it's delayed until now. You are not waiting anxiously? Han Jiao glanced at Chen Wei, and a trace of surprise flashed in her beautiful eyes. Liu Menging's foresight talent is sometimes reliable, but sometimes it is very poor. That's why she didn't directly accept Chen Wei as a disciple at the beginning, but gave him a red cloud flame formation diagram to test Chen Wei's qualifications. It was not until Chen Wei won the championship in the Hanyang Provincial Beast Taming Competition that she removed the prefix of his registered disciple. But despite this, Chen Wei's progress speed still exceeded her expectations. No, Chen Wei shook his head slightly. He has not forgotten that he still has a rare king dragon pet left with his master. However, at this moment, Han Jiao's face changed slightly, and a magnificent spiritual power flashed through Chen Wei in an instant. Have you fought with the Scarlet Beast? Han Jiao said to Chen Wei in surprise. As far as she knew, Chen Wei only played a supporting role in the First Emperor's ruins. After all, a half-demon like the Scarlet Mother could turn a low-level Beastmaster into ashes with just a breath. Hearing this, Chen Wei was slightly stunned and denied, "No, I haven't even touched a Scarlet Beast once. Most likely the Scarlet Mother has set a mark on you. If it weren't for my recent soul breakthrough to the Earth-level spirit realm, I'm afraid I wouldn't have discovered this mark." Han Jiao frowned slightly. Impossible. This was the first thought that came to Chen Wei's mind. With the protection of the divine egg in the source star space, and the fact that he has been under the protection of the Blackbird spirit, it stands to reason that the Scarlet Mother has no chance to attack him. Seeing the worry on Chen Wei's face, Han Jiao flicked her finger, and a snow-white clear flame appeared at her fingertips. Is this the 9th order immortal medicine flame, the pure world true flame? Seeing this flame that frightened the void, Chen Wei's pupils shrank, and he felt that all the cells in his body were trembling, as if he was facing a high-level life in a different dimension. Don't worry, it's just a very weak half-demon mark. As soon as the voice fell, Han Jiao waved his fingertips on Chen Wei's right arm, and under the burning of the pure world true flame, a drop of extremely red blood appeared out of thin air, and a shrill laughter suddenly sounded. Hearing this familiar voice, Chen Wei's face changed slightly. The most difficult thing about strange monsters is that they are uncontrollable and unpredictable. In the future, when you encounter strange monsters outside, you should either retreat and report to the local legion, or defeat them with the source starfire and pet beast before they find you. Putting away the pure world true flame, Han Jiao wiped the sweat from his forehead and reminded, I have completely removed this mark of the demon god. Be careful when you train outside in the future. Thank you, Master. Chen Wei showed a trace of fear on his face. No wonder the mortality rate of beast masters has been high. He won the bid inexplicably after participating in a military training. If it weren't for the breakthrough of the master this time, he might have wasted another chance to revive. It doesn't matter. This time I'm looking for you mainly for the alchemy conference in half a month. Changshan and Kain will participate at that time, but Changshan is just a formality. Whether you win or not depends on your and Kain's performance. Han Jiao picked up a cup of hot tea and sat on the chair. According to past experience, the champion of each youth alchemy conference is at least a 4-star alchemist, and sometimes even a 5-star alchemist, that is, a high-level alchemist, 5-star alchemist. Hearing this, Chen Wei frowned and said, Teacher, with my alchemy skills, it's probably difficult to win the championship. It's not that he is modest. He can only refine a 4th-level upper-level pill at best. With this level, he can get a top 3, but it's a bit difficult to win the championship. And Sister Kain, who ranked first on the Purple Star ranking this year, has just broken through to 5-star alchemist. She is in high spirits, and winning the championship must not be a big problem for her. This Jishen pill seems a bit difficult to get. Just as Chen Wei sighed in his heart, Teacher Han looked at him with a smile. Every alchemy conference helps contestants surpass their own limits. Don't you want to take this opportunity to break through the shackles and advance to a 5-star alchemist in one fell swoop? Please teach me, Teacher. Chen Wei's eyes flashed with hope. Han Jiao smiled slightly, the star ring on his finger flickered, and a dark inheritance source stone suddenly appeared in his hand. This is the recipe for the 5th grade top grade elixir, Sanbao pill. If you can refine it successfully, it should be no problem for you to win the championship in this alchemy competition. Han Jiao smiled and handed the inheritance source stone to Chen Wei. Chen Wei took the inheritance source stone with both hands to show respect, and then slowly extended his mental power to check it. Spirit, Ki and Spirit are the 3 treasures of the human body, and the best 3 treasures pill can help the Beastmaster achieve full Spirit, full Ki and full Spirit, so that the Spirit, Ki and Spirit can be temporarily mixed and unified, and can greatly increase the probability of the Beastmaster's promotion to the 6th level king. The 3 treasures pill actually refers to 4 kinds of pills, namely the 5th level low-grade pill, Ningjing pill, that can replenish human essence, the 5th level middle-grade pill, Zhenqi pill, that increases human ki, the 5th level high-grade pill, Yingshan pill, that allows the soul to temporarily enter the yellow-level spiritual realm. And finally the best 3 treasures pill that combines the effects of these 3 pills and undergoes a fundamental transformation. Looking at the inheritance source stone with 4 pill recipes in his hand, Chen Wei couldn't help swallowing. In addition to the 7th level pills such as Jishan pill, that can allow people to permanently enter the yellow level spiritual realm, the 3 treasures pill can be said to be the precious pill that most of the children of the Beastmaster family will use when they advance to the king. Of course, except for the direct descendants of the Beast Tamer family who can obtain the top grade 3 treasures pill. Other beast tamers can only choose to take the 3 pills of condensing essence pill, increasing ki pill and prospering spirit pill together. Although such mixed use will lead to a lot of waste of the efficacy of these 3 pills, and even in the end, there will be no 1/5 of the efficacy of the top grade 3 treasures pill. This is already the limit that ordinary beast tamers can do in order to break through the king. From this, it can be seen how valuable the recipe of the 3 treasures pill is. In terms of value, it is even far more than the sum of several king race dragon pets. Teacher, is this recipe too expensive? Chen Wei couldn't help but look up at Hanji Iao. The recipe is just a dead thing, and in addition to you, I also gave a recipe for the 3 treasures pill from Kayan. At this point, Hanji Iao's mouth corners slightly raised. With the potential of the 2 of you, it is entirely possible to refine one of the 3 treasures pills at the alchemy conference in half a month. I understand. Sensing the teacher's high hopes, Chen Wei nodded and put the inheritance source stone into the star ring. Chapter 380 New Attributes. This alchemy conference is full of geniuses. It's a good thing to win the championship, but at your age, even if you fail once, it doesn't matter if you have to settle down. Hanji Iao took a sip of hot tea. She asked Chen Wei to participate in the alchemy conference mainly for training, and winning the championship was secondary. After all, the age limit of this youth alchemy conference held in Zitan City is within 25 years old. At Chen Wei's age, the opponents he faces are all seniors who have been immersed in alchemy for several years. The chance of winning the championship is really not high. This is why she dared to set a reward for Chen Wei, the God-binding pill. As for Hanji Iao's new disciple Lu Kaiyan, even if she won the championship, the reward she received was only the 5th level top-grade pill Sanbao pill she personally refined. I will live up to the teacher's high expectations. Chen Wei bowed slightly. If it was a battle of beast control, he believed that he had the absolute strength to win the championship, but he didn't dare to guarantee that he could forcibly raise his level of alchemy in the competition of alchemy by relying on the delusion-breaking spirit eyes. After all, there was a 5-year time gap between him and the other contestants. By the way, I remember you left one more chance to choose. Have you decided which of the 3 dragon species you want to choose? After finishing her business, Hanji Iao suddenly remembered the opportunity that Chen Wei had temporarily reserved because of his insufficient cultivation in the Source Star. She was also very curious about how far this talented and evil disciple could cultivate a rare dragon species. Teacher, I just signed a beast control contract with a dragon pet. I'm afraid I'm a little overwhelmed to contract a king dragon species, Chen Wei said with difficulty. Hanji Iao looked at Chen Wei deeply, with a gentle smile on her face. She had seen many beast masters with great luck in these years, but she had only seen Chen Wei, a beast master who could contract a beast comparable to the Emperor race at the 4th level of the Source Star. It doesn't matter. I can keep the 3 dragon pets for you. Hanji Iao, who felt a little painful, pretended to be indifferent. Unlike other king dragon pets, the 3 rare dragon species that Chen Wei had reserved were treasures that she had been looking for a long time. Although their race level is only the Brilliant King, they all have the potential to evolve into hegemon or even an emperor race. Even for some low-level beast masters, these 3 rare dragon species that can be contracted are more popular than some emperor pets that cannot conclude a beast contract because of the huge gap in strength. Of course, the premise is that they have the ability to subdue this kind of rare dragon species with a lonely and arrogant personality. If Hanji Iao had not been sure that Chen Wei could not subdue these 3 rare dragon species that she could not subdue, she would not be willing to take them out to test her disciples. After saying goodbye to the teacher, Chen Wei took Liu Menging's luxury cart to a large manor. What a great enjoyment, looking at the huge lake with rippling blue waves and the artificial grassland jungle where many pets were running and playing. Chen Wei couldn't help but sigh in his heart. Chen Wei thought that his single villa dormitory at Rosewood University was luxurious enough. But he didn't expect Liu Menging's residence to be even more outrageous. Even if you don't look at the decoration and gardening, just looking at the area is probably hundreds of times the area of his villa. You have to know that this is Zitan City, where every inch of land is worth a lot of money. Such a luxurious manor is more than enough to raise thousands of pets, let alone live in. When you graduate, as long as you want, these are not worth mentioning to you. Seeing the envy in Chen Wei's eyes, Liu Menging said calmly. With his servant's bows, Chen Wei and Liu Menging entered the hall together. What to drink? Liu Menging asked casually. A glass of warm water, perhaps because of Bai Luo's daily spiritual liquid. Chen Wei rarely drinks beverages such as coffee and red wine. When she set her eyes on Chen Wei, Liu Menging's expression gradually became serious. Seeing this, Chen Wei's fingers flashed with a faint light of the star realm, and Yutong's sacred body suddenly appeared. Sure enough, the future picture I witnessed with my talent is real. Looking at Yutong's red sun-like diamond eyes, Liu Menging's beautiful eyes suddenly lit up. She has seen such supreme eyes in her dreams more than once. Perhaps the dream passed down from generation to generation in the Liu family can end in her generation. Excited, Liu Mengeng couldn't help but reach out to hug Yutong in her arms. Meow, go away. Yutong took a few steps back, and the red gold flame instantly enveloped her whole body. Obviously, Yutong has not forgotten the horror of the woman in front of her. Liu Mengeng's body stiffened slightly, and then a bitter smile appeared on her face. Sorry, Sister Mengeng, Yutong seems to be a little resistant to you. Chen Wei picked up Yutong and stroked her head with his palm as if to comfort her. I understand. Liu Mengeng took a sip of coffee to cover up her embarrassment. Have you named Yutong's evolved form? Destiny Dragon Doll. Interesting, a dragon puppet, Liu Mengeng said eagerly. Do you mind if I take Yutong to the research institute to test its skill potential and attribute parameters? Meow. Hearing about the research, Yutong quickly looked up at Liu Mengeng with a fierce expression. Okay, but I want to accompany Yutong. Chen Wei nodded while comforting Yutong with his mind. After all, it was because of Liu Mengeng's gift that he was able to have such a powerful pet like Yutong, so he would not refuse such a small request. There is no time to lose. There happens to be a research room here, Liu Mengeng said impatiently. Hearing this, Chen Wei looked at her with a strange expression, but did not say it out loud. While talking, Chen Wei and the others came to a well-decorated research room. Just put Yutong on that instrument. After saying that, Liu Mengeng sat directly in front of the computer, and his hands quickly clicked on the screen. Ding, the test is over. Hearing the system prompt sound, Chen Wei lowered his head and asked Liu Mengeng with a somewhat shocked look. What's the result? This is the test information of the Destiny Dragon Doll. Liu Mengeng pursed her dry lips and showed the test results in front of Chen Wei. Pet name, Destiny Dragon Doll. Pet attributes, Fire, Dragon, Crystal. Racial level, Brilliant King Epic Overlord. Strength level, lower 4th rank. Pet potential, Heavenly rank top grade. Pet skills, Swallowing Flames, Dragon Chasing the Sun, King's Pressure. Flame impact, normal source energy value. 8W Yutong's evolutionary form is even more peculiar than I thought. Judging from the normal source energy value, it should be a dominant race, but the racial skill it possesses is King's Pressure instead of Overlord's Pressure. Liu Mengeng frowned slightly. In addition, Yutong also has a source power attribute hidden in her body that has not been discovered by the Beast Taming Association. If we can find enough evidence to support it and publish a paper on the new attribute in the Beast Taming Association, we may be able to win the Kangji Research Award. Chapter 381 Perfect Skills. The Kangji Research Award is a world-class award established by the Beast Taming Association to commemorate Kangji, the sage who pioneered the path of beast masters for all mankind. The award is intended to reward those who have made great contributions in the field of exotic beast research. The Kangji Research Award is held every 10 years. Those who can win the award are all great researchers and are called national scholars by the world. If there are no sufficiently important research results, the Kangji Research Award would rather leave the award vacant than be awarded. The longest award has been vacant for as long as 300 years. It is precisely because the gold content represented by the Kangji Research Award is extremely high that even research doctors above the top researchers will work hard for this honor all their lives. So when Chen Wei heard that he could sprint for the Kangji Research Award with Liu Mengeng, he couldn't help but be moved. Yutong needs to practice normally, so I'm afraid she doesn't have that much time to participate in research. Chen Wei frowned. The Kangji Research Award is certainly good, and it can allow him to get honors and beast resources that ordinary beast masters can't imagine, but if it takes too much time for it, it's not worth it. After all, on Blue Star, only strength is king. Just give me 2 drops of Yutong's blood, and I can do the rest, Liu Mengeng suggested. Okay, Chen Wei suppressed his thoughts, took out a blood-drawing needle from the star ring, and then took a small tube of blood under Yutong's nervous gaze. Is this enough? Enough. A trace of imperceptible joy flashed in Liu Mengeng's eyes. Looking at the time, Chen Wei stood up and said, "It's getting late, I should go too." Looking at Chen Wei's disappearing figure, Liu Mengeng quickly took a drop of blood from the blood bottle, and then called the maid who was on standby outside the door. "Send the things in here to my father as quickly as possible." "Understood, miss." The maid bowed and took it. "I hope the blood of the Overlord Dragon puppet can open the long-closed door of the family." Liu Mengeng exhaled a breath of turbid air, and then focused on studying new attributes. If she can prove the existence of the new attribute of source power in the future, she and Chen Wei will not only become famous, but also her master and the family behind them will receive great honor. I don't know which guest recorded the video with his mobile phone while watching the exhibition match last night and spread it out. The next morning, the video of Chen Wei defeating Ji Ren directly topped the video section of the official website of Zhejiang University. Han Wuguang is not only the #1 on the current Zhejiang list, but also the most worthy of the strongest in the hearts of many Zhejiang University students. However, after watching this exhibition match, many students question who is stronger between Chen Wei and Han Wuguang. As a result, the two admirers quarreled fiercely on the internet. Ji Ren's defeat to Chen Wei does not mean that Han Wuguang will lose to Chen Wei. When competing for the first place on the Zhejiang list last year, Han Wuguang played 10 games against Ji Ren and won 7 games. This is a comment made by Han Wuguang's fanatical fans. Okay, stop praising Han Wuguang. With the fighting power shown by Chen Wei in the video, I, a King Beastmaster, feel a little bit inferior to him. An unknown netizen said. King? You say so? You don't have to praise Chen Wei so much. He is still a king. If you have the ability, show off your badge. Picture. Do you need me to send more proof? Looking at the many comments online, Chen Wei couldn't help but smile slightly. If there was no 1-month protection period limit, during which he could only eat the minimum living allowance of the 3rd place on the Zhejiang list, he would have challenged Han Wuguang long ago. After taking the 4 pets to finish breakfast and letting them arrange their own training, Chen Wei took out the inheritance source stone that recorded the recipe of the 3 treasures pill from the star ring, and then used his mental power to quickly memorize the profound and obscure methods of refining the pill and the means of processing medicinal materials. Kazi, when Chen Wei memorized all the knowledge in his brain, spider-web-like cracks suddenly broke out from the inheritance source stone, and finally quickly turned into a pile of black stones. Patting the gravel in his hand, Chen Wei took out his mobile phone and ordered 3 spiritual medicines for refining Jingdan and Kidden on the internet. As for the 5th grade superior Yinshan Den, Chen Wei did not intend to try it, because it was too difficult for him. Soon, half a month passed, and the Tamed directly increased its strength to the 2nd level middle position in the process of eating, and the mechanical body of the battle angel that was swallowed by the energy also showed 2% damage. For this reason, Chen Wei specially checked the battle angel and found that this was the wear and tear that would inevitably occur when the Tamed used infinite evolution. This situation did not occur before, purely because the Tamed was too weak and could not hurt the battle angel at all. And it seems that the Tamed was grabbing the battle angel to extract energy. During this period, in addition to the burning of starfire, it learned a starlight reconnaissance skill that can use the power of stars to search the surrounding environment. According to this absorption rate, the energy of 10 battle angels can only make Tamed grow to the 4th level at most, or even only the 3rd level. It seems that I have to go to the ruins of the first emperor again when I have time to harvest a few mechas, Chen Wei thought to himself. After all, apart from the ruins of the first emperor, Chen Wei really couldn't think of where he could get a mecha above the king level. In addition to the progress of Tamed, what surprised Chen Wei the most was that K-Ling was in harmony with nature in the process of nourishing the medicinal field, stepped into an unspeakable state of enlightenment, and successfully advanced the 6th level dragon skill, calling wind and rain, from the mastery level to the perfect level. The mastery level of calling wind and rain can make low-level spiritual plants with sufficient nutrients mature overnight, and the perfect level above this can make low-level spiritual plants mature and increase the medicinal power of 10 years for nothing. Chen Wei has done a test, even if it is the dragon yang grass, which is as valuable as the 5th level resource. K-Ling only needs to release calling wind and rain 10 times, and it will be perfectly ripe in about 10 days. In other words, Chen Wei doesn't even need to make money by refining pills. The spiritual medicines that K-Ling ripens every day can make up for the expenses of daily cultivation. Yu Tuang, on the other hand, stares at Huanglong's right claw every day to meditate, as if she wants to comprehend the Huanglong's power that is hidden in the dragon claw, but unfortunately there has been no progress. Stop playing, Tamed, we should go to the alchemy conference. Looking at Tamed, who was holding the fishing rod tightly, his eyes were always fixed on Xiao Jin, and his saliva was almost flowing out, Chen Wei shouted helplessly. Roar! Tamed roared and reluctantly let go of the fishing rod in his arms. Bailuo, please look after the house. Chen Wei squatted down and touched the green leaves on Bailuo's head. Chirp, no problem. Seeing that the Beastmaster finally stepped into the space channel and disappeared, Bailuo rubbed his hands expectantly, and then walked towards Xiao Jin by the stream with a smirk on his face. Chapter 382 King's Medicine Cauldron. Unlike the Zixia, the Youth Alchemy Conference held by the Red Sand City Alchemy Association is a competition that only restricts age, but not the level of the participants. As long as the participants are under 25 years old, both junior and master alchemists can participate in this competition. It is precisely because of this that the number of participants in the Youth Alchemy Conference is large compared to the strict Zixia. Even the middle and senior alchemists, who are rarely seen by ordinary people, will gather in the square of the Alchemy Association and then show their superb skills in front of everyone. Chen Wei stepped on Yutong on his shoulders and Kaling was wrapped around his wrists. He walked on the bustling streets with Yu Zilman and others. There are so many alchemists. It really deserves to be the hometown of alchemy, Red Sand City. Sniffing the faint medicinal fragrance, Chen Wei's eyes swept across the chest of the young alchemist who passed by, where he was wearing a 5-star badge, and a trace of surprise flashed in his eyes. Young alchemists, who are rarely seen in Shushan City, can be said to be a handful here, and he can even find a senior alchemist with a casual glance. No wonder Shushan City can't develop. All the talented people have left. Thinking of this, Chen Wei shook his head helplessly. Sensing a particularly strong look, Liang Minghu subconsciously stopped. "Brother, what's wrong?" when one's junior sister looked up and asked. "Nothing." Liang Minghu tilted his head to look at Chen Wei, with a smile on his face. Being able to materialize the spirit, it seems that this alchemy conference can meet a good opponent. After a while, Chen Wei's team came to the huge square in front of the Alchemist Association. Because there were too many people and people were crowded, there were many fully armed beast soldiers outside the square who were maintaining order and checking the qualifications to enter. "I'm going to the audience to watch the game. You have to cheer." Yu Zilman bent her right elbow and pulled down, making a cheering gesture. "No problem." Although Wu Sixi was a little lacking in confidence, he still forced a smile. "Just treat it as a test for yourself. Don't put too much pressure on yourself." After speaking, Chen Wei strode to the end of the team and started queuing. "Please show your credentials." Chen Wei took out his alchemist badge and easily passed the qualification test and entered the square. "Master Yiao?" Another guy who lost in the first round. Looking at Chen Wei's disappearing back, the inspector shook his head secretly. Among all the contestants he checked today, Chen Wei's alchemy level was the lowest. But the name Chen Wei is a little familiar. The soldier blinked, but soon put it aside because of his busy work. When Chen Wei passed through the contestant channel, the first thing that came into his sight was the open competition square, which was arranged with a large number of alchemy furnaces, probably more than 1,000. Behind the alchemy furnaces sat many young alchemists who closed their eyes and meditated to adjust their states. On both sides of the square were a large number of spectator seats. The closer to the front, the more luxurious the seats. Chen Wei easily found Yu Zilman's figure in it. "The competition is about to start, let's find a good seat first." Looking at the nervous people behind him, Chen Wei smiled. "Alchemy Furnace No. 0001, perhaps because the master registered for the competition on his behalf, Chen Wei's competition location was in the most conspicuous place in the square. "Hello, senior brother." Seeing Chen Wei appear, Lu Kaiyan's eyes lit up and she greeted him sweetly. Hearing this, the alchemists waiting on the side looked at Chen Wei with surprise. Lu Kaiyan, who had just broken through to the 5th level alchemist this year, was a well-deserved boss-level opponent in the minds of all the contestants. Now there is another senior brother who is only strong but not weak. Would they have no hope of being the top 3 in the conference? Perhaps to celebrate the successful breakthrough of Grandmaster Han, the rewards for this year's alchemy conference far exceeded those of previous years, and the rewards for the top 3 were even more generous. You know, for an alchemist, it is difficult to find an elixir recipe, and a suitable elixir furnace is even rarer than in a century. The prize for the champion of this youth alchemy conference is a 6th level king medicine cauldron, Kaiyankan Jingaiding, also known as Kaiyankan Danding. It is one of the very few ancient treasure medicine cauldrons that can be ranked 8,333rd on the Wanding list as a 6th level source device, Kaiyankan Jingaiding, level, 6th level top grade, introduction, Kaiyankan medicine cauldron, which is made of the gold of heaven, pure yang energy, and this oil of earth, pure yin energy as the core, is said to be an ancient treasure counterfeit made by imitating the legendary 9th level medicine cauldron. The pure world god cauldron features Kaiyankan Yu Qi, as the saying goes, 1 key mix the elixir. The success rate of the 6th level and below elixir refined with this medicine cauldron is increased by 20%. Additional skills, Day Yin and Night Yang. If the elixir fails, Kaienkin can be reversed, so that the elixir returns to the moment before the failure of the formation. It can only be used once a year. If it is used multiple times in a short period of time, there is a risk of the cauldron collapsing. The runner-up prize of the Alchemy Conference is a one-time inheritance source stone that records the recipe of the 6th level elixir, Fuhen Dan. As for the third place prize, it was a rare 6th level spiritual plant, Weeping Blood Grass. This herb can greatly increase physical strength after taking it. It is a precious spiritual medicine that alchemists often fight for in order to make the physical strength keep up with the growth rate of mental strength. It was also because the rewards of the conference were too generous that the alchemists present could not help but look at Chen Wei, until they saw the badge of the Yiao Danchi on Chen Wei's chest. The senior brother of the favorite to win the championship, Lu Kaiyan, is only a Yiao Danchi. An alchemist from Panlong City couldn't help but use his fingers to adjust his glasses, his eyes full of surprise. Alchemists of this level, let alone in Zitan City, can only be replaced by 2 words even in Panlong City, that is, garbage. Is it a senior brother of the beast taming department? Thinking of this possibility, the young man with the glasses subconsciously breathed a sigh of relief. He was at the peak of the 4 glory and had a clear positioning of his own alchemy level, and the goal he set was only the Weeping Blood Grass, the third prize of the conference. The third on the purple star ranking can defeat Ji Lun, but I wonder how much gold content his 9th on the purple star ranking has. On the other side, the senior students of the 5th year of Red Sands University looked at Chen Wei with some fear. Although Chen Wei participated in the conference with a first glory alchemist badge, they knew the purple star ranking and would not naively think that Chen Wei only had such strength. Instead, they thought that Chen Wei was showing weakness to the enemy. After all, the alchemists who can enter the top 10 of the purple star ranking are at least 4th glory late stage or above. Time passed slowly, and as more and more alchemists entered the alchemy square, the time came to 9 o'clock, and a brilliant firework suddenly rose from the center of the square. I declare that the Youth Alchemy Conference officially begins. As the voice of the president of the Alchemy Association fell, deafening cheers rang out from the audience. Chapter 383 The Beast of Disaster. At the moment the competition started, a large virtual screen suddenly appeared in front of the alchemy square. Contestants who successfully refine the 3rd grade top grade elixir, Golden Marrow Pill, within half an hour and whose elixir quality is above average can enter the 2nd round. The recipe for the Golden Marrow Pill is as follows: green silver grass, golden condensed bone. Looking at the dense list of medicinal materials that quickly turned on the screen, Chen Wei hurriedly urged the delusion-breaking spirit eye to remember them firmly. As expected of the Youth Alchemy Conference, the competition system is indeed cruel. The first round of tests will screen out all alchemists below the 4 glory alchemists. After browsing the recipe, Chen Wei sighed slightly in his heart. There are only 3 sets of medicinal materials beside the alchemy furnace, which means that each contestant has only 3 chances to fail. Counting the half-hour time limit, this alchemy competition can be described as hellish difficulty. Family members know their own business. Chen Wei is very clear that with his current alchemy level, he cannot perfectly refine the Golden Marrow Pill when he just gets the recipe. He will fail at least once. Unless someone asks him to use the delusion-breaking spirit eye to completely copy the refining process. Thinking of this, Chen Wei couldn't help but turn his head to look at Lu Kaiyan beside him. This junior sister who was good at refining medicine seemed to be a good target for fleecing. Seeing Chen Wei looking at her, Lu Kaiyan smiled slightly, and the star ring on her finger flashed a faint light. A dog-like to pet with a black body, ears and tail filled with red flames, white eyes, and no black pupils suddenly appeared. Pet name, Fighting Flame Disaster Dog. Pet attributes, Fire, Earth. Racial level, Brilliant King. Strength level, 4th order lower. Racial skills, Flame of the Heart of Disaster, Rock Drawing Earth Crack, Disaster Prediction, Devouring Flame Strike. Pet introduction. In the Middle Ages, the fire-type beasts that were called disaster beasts by people not only have the ability to swallow and spit flames, but also can predict the occurrence of natural disasters such as earthquakes and volcanic eruptions in advance. Disaster beasts that detect natural disasters? Interesting. Chen Wei looked at the extraordinary Fighting Flame Disaster Dog, and a hint of curiosity flashed in his eyes. Please note that those who have not finished refining the elixir before the time limit is considered a failure. The competition begins now. As the voice of Tan Haobo, the president of the Alchemy Association, fell, hundreds of beast-controlling talisman arrays suddenly bloomed on the square, and thousands of various fire-type pets instantly appeared in front of the alchemy furnace. Boom boom boom. Not long after the alchemy conference began, several alchemists failed to condense the elixir due to excessive tension. Ignoring those alchemists who were not strong enough, Chen Wei focused all his attention on Lu Kaian's alchemy process. Lu Kaian waved her soft hands lightly, and the Daoyan Hodog under her feet spit out more a black flame that was enough to melt golden fossils. Then, various spiritual medicines beside her fell into the alchemy furnace one by one in an orderly manner under the control of the majestic mental power. Chen Wei watched Lu Kaian refining the elixir and nodded slightly in appreciation. Soon, there was no alchemy in the alchemy square, and Chen Wei, who was standing quietly, immediately fell into the sight of many spectators. What is this person doing? Why hasn't he started to make pills yet? An audience member asked curiously. Maybe he doesn't know how to make pills, so he can only stand there blankly. Impossible. To participate in the Youth Alchemy Conference, one must be at least a first-class alchemist. How can he not even know how to make pills? But 10 minutes have passed, and he is still standing there. Is he planning to give up? Indeed, I think this contestant is more like a spectator than me. Glancing at the sky, Chen Wei's mind moved, and he used his mental power to ignore the discussions on the square. His eyes carefully observed the drug fusion reaction in Lu Kaian's pill furnace. So that's it. The refining and condensation of Kingayan grass and Jin Ningu not only need to be divided into layers, but also need to extract the essence from each other with Hualia grass to obtain golden marrow. Chen Wei's eyes flashed, and he was very sure about the refining of Jinsudan. So, when Lu Kaian finished refining Jinsudan, he looked up and saw brother Chen Wei with a look of satisfaction. Lu Kaian, brother, you haven't started refining the elixir yet. Lu Kaian looked at the alchemy furnace in front of Chen Wei, which was not angry at all, and said in a surprised tone. It's just the golden marrow pill, which can be refined in 5 minutes, Chen Wei said nonchalantly. 5 minutes, Lu Kaian was stunned. Even though she had experience in refining the golden marrow pill before, it took her about 12 minutes to refine the pill this time. How could it be done in 5 minutes? Chen Wei glanced at the time displayed on the big screen. There were still 18 minutes left before the end of the game. He had no intention of summoning Yutong. The red cloud flame formation diagram was activated, and a red gold flame surged from his palm, and then turned into a stream of light and poured into the alchemy furnace to start warming. I want to see how you can refine the golden marrow pill in 5 minutes. Lu Kaian stared at Chen Wei with some disbelief. She was indeed no match for brother Chen in the beast battle, but in the field of alchemy, which she was best at, she didn't think she was worse than Chen Wei. Chen Wei's mind moved, and dozens of spiritual medicines immediately poured into the alchemy cauldron under his control. How dare he melt 35 spiritual plants at once without summoning a pet beast? Lu Kaian showed a trace of disbelief on her face. You know, under the red cloud flame formation diagram, the pet beast can share nearly 1/3 of the alchemist's work of refining medicine, thereby greatly speeding up the alchemist's extraction of the essence of spiritual medicine. If she did not summon a pet beast, she could only melt 10 spiritual medicines at most at a time, and it would even take 20 minutes to refine a furnace of golden marrow pills. Really, a skilled person is bold. Good guy. This is the first time I have seen such a confident alchemist. Liang Minghu, who also completed the task on the other side, also stared at Chen Wei in a daze. Even if he was a 5-star alchemist, he would not dare to play such a trick at the alchemy conference, because the risk was too high. Finally, the alchemy has begun. In the audience, seeing Chen Wei's free and easy appearance, Yu Zilmin, who knew little about alchemy, couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. She knew that with Chen Wei's medicine refining level, he would definitely not be defeated in the second round. Master Han really accepted a good disciple. Tan Haobo, the president of the Red Sand City Medicine Refining Association, praised Han Jiao. He refined the golden marrow pill in 5 minutes. He could not reach such a high level when he was 19 years old. Young people just like to show off. They still need to settle down more. Han Jiao shook his head slightly. Hearing this, Tan Haobo smiled. If you are not crazy, you are still a young man? If his useless disciple had 2/3 of Chen Wei's talent, he might be even crazier than Chen Wei in this medicine refining conference. P.S. Thanks to Libra for the 100 starting coins reward. Chapter 384 4 Elephants Thunder Flame. Chen Wei's pupils flashed a golden light, and then the flames in his palm disappeared, and he waved his hand gently. Swoosh, 2 golden, round and flawless golden marrow pills instantly fell into Chen Wei's palm. 4 minutes and 25 seconds, Lu Kaiyan retracted her gaze from Chen Wei's alchemy furnace, looked up at the time displayed on the big screen, her eyes full of disbelief. This terrifying speed of refining medicine is probably catching up with the 6th glory alchemist, the master alchemist she has always dreamed of. No wonder the teacher treats brother Chen Wei differently. Lu Kaiyan looked calm on the surface, but the pair of tender white hands under her long sleeves clenched their fists tightly. Even if the speed of refining medicine is fast, it does not mean that the level of refining medicine is superb, it only means that the alchemist knows the medicine well and is very proficient. But for the prouder, losing is losing. She doesn't want to make any excuses. I will definitely get my revenge in the next round. After making up her mind, Lu Kaiyan smiled and said to Chen Wei, brother is amazing. This is the first time I've seen a golden marrow pill being made this way, it's just for the sake of speed. After chatting with his seemingly lazy sister for a few words, Chen Wei tilted his head and looked at the alchemy furnace behind him. At this time, there were still 13 minutes before the end of the competition. In addition to the dozens of alchemists around him, at least 3/4 of the contestants in the alchemy square were still working hard to make pills. It seems that 2/3 of the contestants will be eliminated in this round. Looking at the dejected appearance of Yu Yang and others in the distance, Chen Wei shook his head slightly. With the level of their Ariao alchemists, it would be as difficult as ascending to heaven to refine the golden marrow pill within half an hour. However, being able to personally experience the atmosphere of the alchemy conference is not in vain. Xianglu actually succeeded. Chen Wei was a little surprised to see a faint golden light burst out from the medicine cauldron in front of Yu Xianglu. As expected of the youngest genius alchemist in the history of Nanjiang province, she was able to refine a 3rd-grade top-grade golden marrow pill in the early stage of SYNOPSIS. This demon's talent is simply terrifying. If it weren't for the blessing of the delusion-breaking spirit eyes, Chen Wei even felt that his talent in alchemy was 2 levels inferior to hers. Soon, as the competition time ended, a series of virtual 3-dimensional small screens suddenly appeared on the medicine table next to the alchemy furnace. At the same time, the box on the medicine table suddenly opened, revealing a white jade bottle. Please put the successfully refined pill into the white jade bottle on the table as a competition voucher. The testing work will be completed within 15 minutes, and the results will be sent through the mobile phone number reserved by the contestants. Please pay attention to the message. The next round of the competition will start in 30 minutes. Looking at the message on the screen, Chen Wei casually put a golden marrow pill of good quality into the white jade bottle, and as for the other pill, he put it into the star ring for safekeeping. As the saying goes, save as much as you can. A golden marrow pill can be sold for hundreds of thousands of star coins. It would be a pity to take both for testing. The competition is temporarily over. Please leave the venue. When the alchemists came to the lounge at the edge of the square to wait for the results of the competition, a middle-aged man with gray eyebrows, a white crane cloak, a green star stone ring on his finger, and a refined temperament rode a fairy-like white crane to the highest platform in the center of the alchemy square. This person was Tan Haobo, the president of the Red Sandalwood Alchemy Association, a master-level alchemist who was well known in Red Sandalwood City. When Tan Haobo appeared, noisy cheers spread throughout the alchemy square. Isn't that the president of the Red Sandalwood Alchemy Association? Why is he there? Isn't this your first time attending an alchemy conference? At every alchemy conference, the president will publicly refine a 6th-tier pill as a reward for the champion. It's just that the rewards for the top 3 in this conference are too valuable. Compared with the precious ancient treasure Kaiankan medicine cauldron, even a 6th-tier pill can only be ranked behind. I see. Even the elusive Grandmaster alchemists are willing to condescend to refined medicine at the alchemy conference. No wonder Red Sandalwood has become a holy land of alchemy in the eyes of many alchemists. Don't talk, watch carefully. After coming to Red Sandalwood for so many years, I can finally see a Grandmaster alchemist take action with my own eyes. I can brag about it for at least 10 years after I go back. The next second, as Tan Haobo summoned a majestic ancient cauldron from the star ring, the noisy voices in the audience stopped immediately. This is the Kaiankan Pure Karma Cauldron. Looking at the ancient cauldron on the high platform, which was engraved with mysterious inscriptions on its surface, was black in color, had 3 legs under it, and had mysterious real dragons coiled around its ears on both sides of the cauldron mouth, giving people a sense of the interweaving of heaven and earth. Chen Wei's eyes flashed with surprise. As the saying goes, a good horse deserves a good saddle. Even though Chen Wei's goal has always been the Shenden rewarded by his master, he couldn't help but feel a little excited after seeing this all-encompassing Kyankan medicine cauldron. Under the attention of the crowd, President Tan flicked his finger, and a blue flame like a roaring thunder immediately ignited the Kyankan medicine cauldron. 4-Elephant Thunder Flame. The 8th level legendary medicine flame is a strange thunder flame condensed by the gathering and combination of Shaoyin Thunder, Shaoyuan Thunder, Taiyan Thunder and Sun Thunder. It is the flame of heaven and earth that has the power to improve the host's root bone constitution and increase the speed of source star cultivation. It is extremely powerful. As he activated his delusion-breaking spirit eye, the information about the 4-Elephant Thunder Flame in President Tan's hand slowly emerged in Chen Wei's mind. The first place on the Zui ranking will be rewarded with 30,000 credits per month. As long as I can be the first on the Zui ranking for 3 months, plus the credits accumulated from military training, it should not be difficult to exchange a pure world true flame from senior brother Grau. A variety of thoughts flashed through Chen Wei's mind. And then he continued to keep the delusion-breaking spirit eye open, trying to comprehend the 6th level pill formula, Rezal Restoring Pill, through President Tan's alchemy demonstration this time. President Tan didn't even summon his pet, and as soon as his mental power moved, hundreds of spiritual medicines rushed into the Kyankan cauldron. Then the fire in the cauldron soared, and the blue angry flames that looked like lightning took only a few seconds to refine a large number of spiritual medicines into a brilliant spiritual medicine essence. Only 63 spiritual medicines are melted at a time. Sure enough, if you don't summon a spiritual pet to refine medicine, even a master-level alchemist must be very careful when refining a 6th level pill. Chen Wei's eyes suddenly lit up. If President Tan summoned a spiritual pet to refine medicine and made pills with all his strength, it might be difficult for him to see President Tan's refining process clearly with his current delusion-breaking spiritual eyes. But at this speed, Chen Wei can almost see all the refining reactions in the pill furnace clearly. Boom! As the thunder roared, a refreshing medicinal fragrance slowly filled the entire medicine refining square. Very good, your 6th level pill recipe is very precious, but now it's mine. Seeing that the soul-restoring pill was finally formed, Chen Wei's mouth corners slightly raised. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 385 Refreshing Records. After putting the newly made soul-restoring pill into the star ring, Tan Haobo exhaled a breath of turbid air, and his sharp and bright eyes curiously glanced at Chen Wei in the lounge. With his magnificent and powerful mental power, he could naturally detect Chen Wei's prying eyes, otherwise he would not have to be a master-level alchemist. Spiritual eyes? No wonder he had to observe Lu Kaiyan's alchemy process before he started to make pills. Tan Haobo smiled thoughtfully. Obviously, this arrogant young man can not only easily imitate and copy the alchemy techniques of his peers, but also transfer the goal of learning to him. Interesting, if you can take this opportunity to comprehend part of the recipe of this soul-restoring pill, why not give you this information? Tan Haobo looked at Chen Wei deeply, and then his steady voice resounded throughout the audience. The second round of the alchemy conference is about to begin. Please come on stage, the talented newcomers representing the future of the alchemy world. After speaking, Tan Haobo's figure instantly disappeared on the high platform. Hearing this, Chen Wei took a deep breath, calmed down the excitement caused by obtaining a high-level pill recipe, and stepped onto the alchemy square with many contestants. As soon as he stepped onto the stage, Chen Wei noticed the information displayed on the screen. In this round, contestants who can refine the 4th level top-grade pill Xingyian pill within 1.5 hours and the pill quality is above ordinary can pass. Xingyian pill? Old friend. I can refine this pill even with my eyes closed. With a wave of his hand, he threw all the spiritual plants on the medicine table into the pill furnace. Chen Wei shook his head with some emotion. This was a completely easy question. Under the repeated teachings of Senior Sister Tan, even though Xingyian pill was a 4th level top-grade pill, Chen Wei's refining speed was still surprisingly fast. So, when many contestants were still carefully refining pills, Chen Wei had already entered the pill condensing stage. So fast, in the audience, Qi Xianli, a master alchemist, opened his mouth slightly and looked at Chen Wei with a hint of astonishment on his face. What the hell is this? In less than 7 minutes, all the essence of the spiritual medicine of Xingyin pill was purified and extracted. Is it true that this terrifying speed of refining medicine is not controlled by a master alchemist? Outrageous, it is really outrageous. I knew that refining medicine would not be difficult for Chen Wei. On the other side, Yu Zilman looked at Chen Wei with a natural look, her eyes seemed to be shining. As for Yu Yang and others who were eliminated, their eyes shrank and they looked at the time displayed on the big screen in disbelief. It's almost done, the essence of the medicine has been successfully integrated. Feeling that the Xingyin pill in the alchemy furnace has been nurtured, Chen Wei's mind moved, and the flames driven by the red cloud flame formation diagram suddenly surged in power, and a faint medicinal fragrance that was refreshing began to emanate under the burning of the flames. How is it possible? Smelling this familiar medicinal fragrance, Lu Kaiyan's mind was shocked, and her little hand trembled, and the spiritual medicine being extracted in the alchemy furnace was instantly swallowed by the blazing flames of evil. Damn it! I can't be disturbed by seeing your brother Chen's progress in refining medicine. Lu Kaiyan bit her teeth lightly, forcibly suppressing the excitement in her heart, and put all her energy into refining Xingyin pill. Sure enough, he is a tough opponent. Liang Minghu on the other side looked at Chen Wei with fear. Boom boom boom, then, a series of slight muffled sounds rang out continuously. As the fragrance of medicine spread, the alchemists near Chen Wei seemed to fail in refining pills due to shock or short-term distraction. Dozens of alchemists failed together, and such a spectacular scene immediately attracted the attention of a large number of spectators. The young men nowadays are still too young. Isn't it just that the speed of refining medicine is fast? It's really unreasonable to lose your mind because of this, Tan Haobo said disdainfully. During the war, the old generation of alchemists had to risk the risk of enemy raids, while refining medicine on the road, and sometimes even risked death to condense the pill. Times have changed. The bloody battlefields that Donghu had to face frequently in the early days of its founding are no longer faced by today's young people. Isn't this the goal of our generation? Han Jiao said. Yes, Grandmaster Han is right. Peace is hard-won. I hope that one of these little guys will be able to take the lead in the future. Of course, my disciple, Han Jiao, will go down in history. Han Jiao glanced at Tan Haobo, not hiding his expectations. Go down in history? At least he must be a legendary master or a grandmaster alchemist. Tan Haobo looked at Chen Wei in surprise, thinking to himself. He didn't expect Han Jiao to have such high expectations for this disciple. Chen Wei? Maybe there's a chance to get in touch with him. Tan Haobo's thoughts turned rapidly. It's done. Without opening the furnace to remove the fire, Chen Wei just put away the flames, and 3 blue pills fell into his palm along with the red gold flames. Put the Xingyin pill into the white jade bottle on the table. The pill, which is as bright as a blue crystal, exudes an alluring pill fragrance. Not bad, excellent quality. Chen Wei lowered his head and sniffed it gently, with a hint of satisfaction in his eyes. Even for him, the high-quality Xingyin pill cannot be refined just by wanting to refine it. 7 minutes and 15 seconds, such a fast speed. Seeing Chen Wei set a record for refining the Xingyin pill in public and finish the competition at an unmatched speed, many spectators couldn't help but stare wide-eyed and hold their breath. The beast masters born in Zitan City have more or less a certain understanding of medicine refining knowledge. They know very well that even a master-level alchemist will take at least 20 minutes to refine a 4th-level pill. And Chen Wei only took 7 minutes and 15 seconds, pulling out a huge time gap of 3 times. If they hadn't seen it with their own eyes, they really couldn't believe it. Use God to control the pill and use fire to melt the sun. Congratulations to Master Han, your disciple's soul realm is almost about to step into the yellow-level spiritual realm, Tan Haobo exclaimed in the audience. 1 step difference, a world of difference, this barrier will block him for at least a year and a half. Han Jiao shook his head. 20 minutes later, Lu Kaiyan became the 2nd alchemist to successfully refine the medicine at the alchemy conference, followed by Liang Minghu, and finally the 4-star peak alchemist like the young man with the glasses. As for the other alchemists, most of them were stumped by the 4th-grade Xingyin pill, including Yu Xianglu who failed 3 times in a row. Yu Xianglu is still too young. Lu Kaiyan had heard of this most outstanding alchemy genius in Nanjiang province, who is often compared with herself. But she just glanced at Yu Xianglu and looked at Chen Wei, who was leisurely on the side. They were also 19 years old. Compared with Yu Xianglu, a demon genius who had just begun to show her talent, senior brother Chen Wei was her biggest opponent at the moment. Chapter 386, Golden Elixir Key. One step slow, every step slow. Yu Xianglu, who missed this opportunity, is no longer qualified to be my opponent, Lu Kaiyan smiled brightly. At this time, after the first 2 rounds of strict screening, the number of alchemists on the square quickly decreased, and only 35 excellent alchemists were left standing on the stage. It's finally time to start. It's a pity that Xianglu and her friends are not strong enough and missed this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Chen Wei first glanced at the team members in the audience, and then looked at President Tan on the main stage. I hope you can show your style to the fullest today. Before the last round of the alchemy conference begins, please ask His Majesty the Emperor of Dan to give his blessing. As President Tan's voice fell, the sky suddenly brightened, and countless golden streamers flowed out from the direction of the Alchemy Association, slowly falling towards the alchemists on the alchemy square like a meteor shower. What's going on? The sky has changed. Seeing this dreamlike scene, the people in the audience looked at the sky above the square in shock. Is this the divine fire refining essence, the golden elixir energy? Seeing the magnificent golden light, many knowledgeable alchemists' faces suddenly changed. It is said that the treasure house of the Red Sand City Alchemy Association hides an unprecedented 9-turn golden elixir, and even cultivated to become a human with amazing opportunities, and was named the Alchemy Emperor. Now it seems that this news is not a rumor. Chairman Tan is so bold that he can let His Majesty the Alchemy Emperor stimulate the elixir energy of the 9-turn golden elixir and help this generation of genius alchemists lay a perfect foundation. A master alchemist looked at Tan Haobo in the distance in surprise. Using the blessing of the golden elixir energy once 100 years is not a loss for His Majesty the Alchemy Emperor, who is extremely powerful and almost godlike. Beside him, a well-informed alchemist was full of envy, lamenting that he was born at the wrong time. If he could be born a few years later, the alchemist standing on the square now bathing in the golden elixir energy would have his place. You know, even a 5th grade inferior elixir can be upgraded to a higher level after being nourished by the golden elixir energy, and transformed into a 6th grade top grade elixir. Under the blessing of the golden elixir energy, the alchemist has a chance to briefly realize the mysterious spiritual realm that only epic masters can enter, greatly increasing the probability of breaking through to the master-level alchemist in the future. Of course, each alchemist has different talents, and the amount of golden elixir energy that can be absorbed and the help obtained are naturally very different. This time the association has invested so much, I hope that a grandmaster can emerge from this group of alchemist seedlings. The president of the Alchemy Association, Tan Haobo, looked at the disciples Liang Minghu, Lu Kaiyan and the stunning Chen Wei who were shrouded in golden light with burning eyes. Grow up quickly. You who can absorb elixir energy to become stronger can definitely grow rapidly in this blessing. Hanjit Iao's eyes flashed with a hint of expectation. If she hadn't pushed Tan Haobo behind this alchemy conference, there would not be such an extremely high-end resource as the golden elixir energy. Swish, swish, swish. On the other side, under Chen Wei's slightly nervous gaze, the golden clouds over the alchemy square rushed towards him at lightning speed. Mine, all mine. Feeling the deep desire of the delusion-breaking spirit eye, Chen Wei subconsciously covered his right eye, which was aching from greed. He had seen a lot of Denki, but this was the first time he had seen such high quality, such a large amount, and even completely materialized golden Denki. If all of this Denki can be absorbed, the promotion of the delusion-breaking spirit eye is definitely not a delusion. Thinking of this, Chen Wei couldn't help swallowing his saliva. Lu Kaiyan on the side also stared at the golden light with her beautiful eyes shining, and her body trembled with excitement. Soon, under the expectant eyes of everyone, the golden light enveloped all 35 alchemists on the square. Wrapped in Dangsha, Chen Wei only felt a special force pouring into his eyes. Everything he saw seemed to have stopped in time. Even the tiny particles in the air were frozen in place, and his whole brain fell into an indescribable mental state. At this moment, he seemed to see a new world that he had never seen before, colorful and dazzling. The source power that he had to meditate to perceive in the past was not only clearly visible, but he could even see the flow of the laws between heaven and earth. So that's it. After the blessing lasted for 5 minutes, the young man with eyes, who had a little pain in his head, couldn't help but spit out more breath of turbid air. After this precious epiphany, he was confident that he could step into the 5 glory alchemists within half a month, and even become an extremely respected master alchemist in the future. It's a pity that my body can't support it. If I can hold on for another 5 minutes, it will only take 10 years for me to become a master alchemist." The young man with eyes covered his rapidly beating heart with his hand, took a few deep breaths, wiped the sweat from his forehead, and a trace of regret appeared on his face. That feeling of being like a god, I don't know if he can enter it again in the future. After a while, the young man with eyes, who had recovered, tilted his head and looked around, and found that the other awakened alchemists also had some reluctance in their eyes. "Wait, there are still 3 people who haven't finished blessing yet." The young man with eyes widened his eyes, looking at the 3 people whose figures were obscured by the rich golden danksha in some disbelief. It's a pity that this 1-level spiritual realm is completely different from the 1-level spiritual realm, otherwise I might be able to take this opportunity to step into the 1-level spiritual realm, and then strive for a master alchemist in the next 3 years. As Liu Kaiyan opened his eyes, a ray of materialized gaze left a shallow pit on the ground of the square. However, at this moment, a surging golden Danyan attracted Liu Kaiyan's attention. "Isn't this too outrageous?" Liu Kaiyan covered her red lips, and a trace of barely perceptible envy appeared on her face. The vast clouds surrounding Liang Minghu were isolated and rejected by the invisible spiritual power, and a faint spiritual light shadow slowly emerged from behind him. The spiritual shadow not only looks a bit like Liang Minghu, but also has a heart of diamond inside that makes people feel calm. This is the symbol of the yellow-level spiritual realm, which is to see through life and death, see the nature of the mind, and point directly to the heart. For the Beastmaster, the yellow-level spiritual realm can increase the probability of the Beastmaster's promotion to the king by 50%, but for the alchemist, it means that he can pass through the door of the master alchemist unimpeded, and even hope to reach the unattainable Grandmaster realm, which is why Liu Kaiyan can't believe it. She doesn't believe that she will lose to Liang Minghu, the old rival who ranks second on the purple star list. Unfortunately, all this is just illusion, not something I can control. Liang Minghu opened his clear eyes, his mind moved, and the golden elixir energy gathered around him instantly dissipated. Chapter 387 Transformation Again. Before, Liang Minghu didn't have the confidence to win the championship, but after entering the yellow-level spirit realm, he believed that there was only one champion for this alchemy conference, and that was himself. After a significant breakthrough in his spiritual realm, he now has full confidence in refining the 5th-level medium-grade elixir that he dared not even try in the past. If it weren't for his insufficient source star cultivation and the hardware that couldn't keep up with the consumption of alchemy, he would even have the idea of refining the 5th-level top-grade elixir. Not bad. Tan Haobo, who took everything in, nodded slightly. Liang Minghu was stuck in the yellow-level spirit realm for half a year and couldn't enter. In order to make him learn by analogy and successfully break through the barriers, he spent a lot of resources to promote it. Fortunately, Liang Minghu didn't let him down this time. "Congratulations, President Tan." Hanzhu Iao looked at Liang Minghu with a slight movement. In terms of talent, Liang Minghu's potential is comparable to her 7th disciple Chu Shui, and he can be regarded as a rare alchemy genius. It's a pity that he was born at the wrong time and met her 9th disciple Chen Wei. In front of a rising sun, a weak candlelight is not worth mentioning. The next second, under the gaze of tens of thousands of people, a terrifying pressure erupted from Chen Wei's position, and endless golden danksha poured into his body. The pupils of the young man with the glasses shrank, and he looked at the golden elixir gas being swallowed between heaven and earth in disbelief. Is he going to die? He felt chest pain, shortness of breath, and palpitations when he just absorbed a little danky. With so much danky pouring in, I'm afraid even a king beastmaster would explode and die. Boom, the violent roar sounded continuously. As the golden danksha continued to absorb, Chen Wei could clearly feel that his meridians, muscles, and source power were actually showing a tendency to collapse. But in the next second, those domineering pure danki were instantly swallowed by his delusion-breaking spiritual eyes. How is it possible? This is part of the celestial phenomenon of danki condensing into a cauldron, thunder roaring, and the golden elixir descending into the world, looking at the danksha in the distance gradually dissipating, and the sky appearing with thick calamity clouds that dyed everything black. Many master-level alchemists in the audience couldn't help but take a breath of cold air, revealing an incomprehensible expression. Logically speaking, only when a Grandmaster alchemist is refining an 8th-level legendary golden elixir will such a terrifying celestial phenomenon occur, but today it appeared on a young man for the first time, which is simply against common sense. Boom boom, at this moment, The sky above the square was covered with dark clouds, and countless lightning was diffused in the clouds. A purple thunder that rushed into the sky cut through the space and illuminated Chen Wei's handsome face. Master Han, do we need to stop the game early? Tan Haobo frowned. The thunder of the sky can be strong or weak. According to the current strength of the source power gathered in the square and the lightning of the sky, the level of the thunder that fell should only be the 7th level thunder of heavenly punishment. The thunder of heavenly punishment is a pure thunder of destruction. It will occasionally appear when the abyss of heaven descends, and when the abyss of heaven descends, it will destroy all the demonized beasts around it. It is extremely powerful. Although he is an epic warrior, he is not good at fighting, and he is not sure enough to protect the tens of thousands of spectators in the square under the thunder of heavenly punishment. It's okay, I will take action, Han Jiao said indifferently. In front of the legendary warrior, the thunder of heavenly punishment can be annihilated with a wave of his hand. Compared with the danger brought by the thunder of heaven, she is more concerned about Chen Wei's current situation. Hot, so hot, Chen Wei only felt a burst of burning sensation in his eyes, as if he was burning in a blazing flame. The severe pain even made him unable to hold back a lot of tears from the corners of his eyes. Damn, my image. Chen Wei closed his eyes tightly, took out a tissue from the star ring and wiped his tears frantically, and then tried his best to activate the spirit eye. He could clearly feel that after swallowing all the golden elixir energy around him, the delusion-breaking spirit eye was far from satisfied, and he needed more energy. Hey, interesting, in a secret room deep inside the alchemy building, a little boy with jet black hair and a cute pink face, who made people want to pinch his cheeks, opened his eyes. His deep and experienced clear eyes penetrated the walls and heavy defenses and saw Chen Wei, who was swallowing up the Dan Qi in the alchemy square. I want to see how much giant Qi you can absorb. The little boy raised his eyebrows and instantly saw Chen Wei's current state. He flicked his little hand and a ball of golden energy instantly shot out. As one of the ancestors of the Alchemy Association, it would not watch Han Jiao's disciples die on the competition stage. When the giant Qi in the square was devoured, the delusion-breaking spirit eyes, which were still rapidly transforming, suddenly became slow. Damn, it's still short of source power. A trace of anxiety flashed in Chen Wei's eyes. The transformation of the spirit eyes is not something he can stop just because he wants to. If this continues, he can only consume the ball of immortal dragon blood left by the Rift Abyss Emperor Dragon. Just when Chen Wei was hesitating, a golden light shot out from the building of the Alchemy Association and finally sank into his body. Boom! Under this great power, the space around Chen Wei was shaking. Did the Pill Emperor take action? Seeing this scene, Han Jiao's eyelids moved slightly, and the gorgeous pill that appeared on his palm disappeared instantly. It was the Shenji pill that Chen Wei had been thinking about. At the same time, as the golden light poured into his body, Chen Wei's slightly painful face actually showed a bit of comfort, and a series of profound knowledge instantly poured into his brain from the soul-breaking eyes, skill, creation soul eyes, level, 7th level epic, trait introduction. The legendary soul eyes bred by absorbing a large amount of Dan Qi from the 9-turn golden pills Yuanhe creation pill have incomparable creation power. People with creation soul eyes, when refining pills below the 7th level, must have a quality of pills above excellent. If you use all your strength to activate the creation soul eyes, you can improve the quality of the pill to perfection. And even improve the grade of the pill. After receiving the information about the transformation of the spirit eye, Chen Wei couldn't help but take a deep breath and forcibly suppressed his excitement. What does it mean that the quality of the elixir must be above excellent? Other alchemists work hard and can't make a few furnaces of excellent quality elixirs in a year. With the blessing of the creation spirit eye, as long as he succeeds in refining the elixir, the bottom line is that the quality is excellent. This alone is enough to make him different from ordinary alchemists, and even lay a brand in the industry that Chen Wei's products must be fine products in the future. What's more, he is still participating in the alchemy conference. When the difficulty and grade of the elixir are not far apart, the quality of the elixir is enough to determine the final victory or defeat. With the help of the creation spirit eye, the god-binding pill may not be an unattainable dream, Chen Wei said in his heart. P.S. Thanks to Libra for the 100 starting coins rewarded. Chapter 388 Three-Legged Red Crow. Those eyes seem familiar. Liang Ming, who looked at Chen Wei's majestic golden eyes that seemed to be able to see through people's hearts, and his eyes showed a thoughtful look. Boom. The next second, in the shocked eyes of everyone, The thunder of heavenly punishment that had been brewing in the sky for a long time finally took shape. A thick purple thunder struck Chen Wei at lightning speed, and the dazzling light even made many viewers close their eyes. Thanks to his outstanding mental strength, before Chen Wei had completely digested the information of the creation eyes, he was awakened by a sudden sense of death crisis. As soon as he looked up, he saw an unparalleled thunder falling with a magnificent power. Seeing this, Chen Wei couldn't help but hold Bailuo's summoning stone tightly. Except for Bailuo, other pets were simply powerless to resist the thunder. In the audience, Hanjiao looked at the thunder in the sky and whispered, "Destroy it, three-legged." After that, the star ring on her finger burst into a strong black light, and a powerful figure like the sun suddenly rushed towards the thunder falling from the sky. Boom! With a violent roar, the first thunder of heavenly punishment that fell was instantly torn and shattered by the scorching sun, and then the dazzling divine bird was revealed in the dark clouds. Looking at the big sun divine bird in the sky that was 100 meters high and shone on the world like a god, Chen Wei couldn't help but feel a little dry in the mouth. There is actually an extra sun in the sky? Some audiences with low cultivation opened their eyes wide, their faces full of disbelief. The legendary three-legged red bird is indeed worthy of its reputation. Several master alchemists sitting in the front row of the audience ignored the sweat on their cheeks and stared at the majestic figure competing with the sun. Sure enough, only such a powerful fire emperor pet is the best partner for the alchemist. Is this the teacher's pet? Chen Wei looked at the information identified by the delusion-breaking spiritual eyes, and his heartbeat suddenly started to beat rapidly. Pet name, three-legged red crow. Pet attribute, fire. Racial level, legendary emperor. Strength level, racial skills, great sun across the sky, exploding sun, heavenly fire purifies the world, red earth for thousands of miles, legendary domain. Pet introduction, the sun is the ancestor of yang essence, which accumulates to form a crow. The crow has 3 toes, which is the extreme of yang. As the messenger of the sun, the three-legged red crow has the power to activate the great sun with just a thought. It can turn the land for thousands of miles. If the blood in the body can reach immortality one step further, it can be transformed into a three-legged golden crow with the power to destroy the world. It seems that the teacher is also a person of great luck to be able to contract a legendary fire supreme three-legged red crow. Looking at the three-legged red crow with 2 black feathers on its head, red eyes, red feathers all over its body, and the flames of the sun burning fiercely, Chen Wei was amazed. Without paying attention to the gazes of others, the three-legged red crow tore the thunder and then looked at the increasingly violent thick dark clouds. Boom! As if it felt provoked, the thunder in the dark clouds surged violently, and 9 consecutive lightning pillars poured down in an instant. Seeing this, a trace of disdain flashed in the eyes of the three-legged red crow. With a burst of fire source power in its body, dazzling flames suddenly appeared around its body one after another. In the blink of an eye, the flames in the sky shot towards the thunder clouds in the sky like rockets. Boom! Just a casual blow, the terrifying thunder was shattered on the spot, and even the dark thunder clouds were evaporated by the scorching flames. Seeing that the matter was settled, the three-legged red crow looked down at Chen Wei, and the tall figure disappeared in an instant. I didn't expect that the transformation of the spiritual eyes would also bring about thunder tribulation. It seems that I have to be more careful in the future. Chen Wei touched his eyes with his hand and thought to himself. If it weren't for the help of the teacher this time, whether he could rely on Bai Luo to survive the thunder is still an unknown. Fuck, the thunder of heaven is coming to punish. Chen Wei is not the reincarnation of a demon, an elderly old man murmured. Hearing this, several audience members next to his seat hurriedly stepped back a few steps to distance themselves. What a joke, Chen Wei is the disciple of Master Han. Dare to say that Chen Wei is the reincarnation of a demon. What's the difference between offending Master Han? Seeing the audience around him showing a look of fear and avoidance, the old man who reacted turned pale, and he didn't even have the interest to continue watching the alchemy conference and left the alchemy square in a panic. The thunder of heaven's punishment has appeared again. Master Han, your genius disciple seems to be hiding a lot of secrets. Tan Haobo looked at Chen Wei curiously. To be able to possess talents that are difficult for ordinary people to understand, and to set records that ordinary beast masters dare not imagine, which genius in this world does not have secrets? Hanji Iao smiled. What's more, what came down today was the thunder of heavenly punishment, not the 99 demon-slaying heavenly thunder. Although they are both heavenly thunders, the meanings behind the thunder of heavenly punishment and the 99 demon-slaying heavenly thunder are very different. The thunder of heavenly punishment will not only appear when the golden elixir is born, but also occasionally appear when the sky abyss descends, but the 9-9 demon-slaying heavenly thunder is different. It will only appear when the demonized strange beasts at the peak of the 8th level legend, whose strength is almost close to that of a half-demon god, try to break through the space barrier and enter the blue planet. Even the demonized strange beasts at the peak of the 8th level legend, it is still difficult to escape Hanjiao's Earth-level spiritual realm perception. I understand, if Grandmaster Han thinks it's okay, then it's okay, Tan Haobo said softly. Since Hanjiao has spoken to guarantee his disciple, there is no need for him to continue to explore. Although he was not afraid of the Grandmaster, he did not want to arouse the anger of a Grandmaster of Alchemy for such a small matter, even if he was the president of the Red Sand City Alchemy Association. Then, he looked at the alchemists in the square who were still somewhat shocked, and said in a deep voice, "The blessing of the Emperor of Alchemy has ended. I declare that the last round of the Alchemy Conference has officially begun." As President Tan's voice spread throughout the venue, the faces of the alchemists on the field suddenly became solemn. After the blessing of Denki, all the contestants have become much stronger. Chen Wei glanced at the alchemists in the square, and finally stopped his eyes on Liang Minghu. Compared with before, Liang Minghu at this time actually gave people a feeling of purity and purity. Yellow-level spiritual realm? Chen Wei narrowed his eyes slightly, and even the joy of obtaining the creation spirit eyes was reduced a lot. Congratulations to Brother Chen for his successful epiphany. Lu Kaiyan, who witnessed Chen Wei swallowing the golden elixir energy, finally came back to congratulate. As the saying goes, more friends mean more paths. Although they are opponents in this alchemy conference, who says opponents can't become friends? After the exhibition match at the apprenticeship banquet, she knew very well the position of Chen Wei in her teacher's heart, and it would not hurt to have a good relationship with him. Let's work hard together. It's not that easy to win the championship of this conference. Chen Wei tilted his head and looked at Liang Minghu, who had an extraordinary temperament in the distance. Chapter 389 The Last Round. The last round of the competition is very simple. You just need to do your best to refine the highest grade elixir within 2 hours. The one with the highest elixir quality will win. Hearing this, the young man with the glasses changed his expression slightly, and quickly raised his right hand and asked, "How should the problem of medicinal materials be solved?" Tan Haobo glanced at him and said lightly, "For contestants who don't have their own medicinal materials, you can enter the medicinal materials you need for alchemy on the small screen on the alchemy table, and the association will deliver the medicinal materials within 15 minutes. But please note that each contestant can only buy 3 sets of medicinal materials for the elixir recipe from the association at most. Do you have any questions?" Seeing that everyone had no objection, Tan Haobo nodded slightly and said, "Very good, then the competition will start now." When the competition started, the contestants on the field did not move, and they all thought about what kind of elixir to refine in order to get a higher ranking. After all, the competition time is only 2 hours. If you choose to refine a high-difficulty elixir and fail, you may not even be able to enter the top 10, but if you choose to refine a low-difficulty elixir, it may be difficult to rank in the top 5. Liang Minghu thought about it, took a decisive step forward, and directly input the medicinal materials needed to refine the elixir on the screen. Hundi Pill, seeing the medicinal materials of the elixir displayed on Liang Minghu's screen, Chen Wei's pupils suddenly shrank. Hundi Pill, a 5th-level top-grade elixir, can not only greatly improve the defense of Earth-type pets, but also have a certain chance of allowing the pet to obtain the Hundi body. Hundi body, standing on the ground, can quickly increase the recovery speed of Earth-type source power and increase the utilization rate of Earth-type beast resources by 30%. You know, the most precious elixir is the elixir that can help the beast master or pet to break through, and the second is the auxiliary elixir such as Hundi Pill that can help pets obtain special physiques. It may be difficult for me to win by refining the condensation pill among the 3 treasure pills. It seems that I have to take a gamble." Chen Wei frowned slightly and summoned Yutong directly. With his current level of medicine refining, if he didn't have Yutong's assistance, he probably wouldn't be able to refine even the 5th-level lower-grade condensing essence pill, let alone the 5th-level middle-grade key-enhancing pill. Meow. When Yutong's sacred body appeared on the field, she attracted the attention of many viewers. What kind of pet is this? I can't even find it in the beast taming atlas. It looks a bit like a titanium crystal doll, but as far as I know, there is no such thing as the titanium crystal doll's king race evolutionary form. It should be. My fire crystal doll didn't even dare to move when it saw it. So cute. Is this the latest evolutionary form developed by the titanium crystal doll? The girl, who had no interest in refining medicine and had been lying in the VIP seat playing with her mobile phone boredly, sat up straight in an instant, and her delicate face showed a bit of desire. She has no shortage of pets with powerful potential, but she lacks cute pets. In short, she is a face control. If the pet is ugly, she will not consider the contract no matter how strong it is. Sure enough, there is no information about this evolutionary form on the official website of the puppet. I don't know if I can buy one from him for 500 million star coins, Yisai bit her lips and said. In the medicine refining square, Chen Wei's star ring flickered, and a spiritual plant for refining ki boosting pills appeared on the medicine table. I have been unable to refine it for a while. I hope that I can complete it smoothly after the spiritual eyes are advanced this time. After sighing in his heart, Chen Wei waved his right hand, and Yu Tuang immediately understood and spit out a flame to nourish the alchemy furnace. At this time, Lu Kaiyan, who was not far from him, also commanded Gao and Huakun to spit out a pink flame. The jumping flame looked very much like a lotus, red lotus Hoyan. The 6th level king level medicine flame is made by the secret method of smelting the Dao and Huakun's life source fire, the flame of the heart of evil, and the red lotus earth fire. Note, the red lotus Hoyan is condensed by the extremely yin secret method, so only women can use it. This medicine flame has the magical effect of increasing the success rate of alchemy. Seeing this, Chen Wei's eyes flashed with a trace of surprise. Sure enough, Lu Kaiyan didn't go all out before. Even Yu Xianglu and the others have their own secret methods of medicine flames. How could the number 1 on the purple star ranking not have a unique medicine flame? He shook his head, put aside his distracting thoughts, and flicked his finger. A plant of Xingyian grass was thrown into the alchemy furnace under the control of his mind. You can refine a ki-enhancing pill at such a young age? If I hadn't happened to break through, I'm afraid I wouldn't have won the first place in the alchemy conference. Liang Minghu didn't even look at Chen Wei, and guessed the pill that Chen Wei would refine next through his powerful mental perception. Judging from the pill's grade alone, the Hunty pill is slightly better, but if it is from the value, maybe more Beastmasters will choose the ki-enhancing pill. After all, only a small number of Beastmasters have contracted Earth-type pets. But there are a lot of Beastmasters who want to break through to the king with a ki-enhancing pill. But Liang Minghu dared to take out the Hunty pill because he had his confidence. Thanks to the blessing of the yellow-level spirit realm, he was confident that he could refine a good quality, or even excellent Hunty pill. As the spiritual medicine gradually arrived, the contestants in the square also withdrew their gazes from Yu Tuang and began to seriously refine the pill. Compared with the condensing essence pill, the source power and energy required to refine the ki enhancement pill are simply terrifying. Even with Chen Wei's cultivation of the 4th order middle stage of the source star, combined with the recovery state of the pill, he can still only refine it twice in a short period of time. At this time, Chen Wei activated the creation spirit eyes and looked at the spiritual liquid in the alchemy furnace with burning eyes. With the blessing of the power of creation, the original extremely difficult process of water and fire condensation suddenly became extremely smooth. So that's it. The power of creation released by the creation spirit eyes can not only improve the quality of the pill, but also actively dissolve and concentrate the medicinal properties of the spiritual medicine. Chen Wei wiped the sweat from his forehead, and his face showed excitement. Fierce fire condensation pill, do you need to use the holy flame of destiny? Yu Tong looked up and asked. No. The risk is too great, Chen Wei refused in his mind. Using the holy flame of destiny to forcibly improve the quality of the elixir would greatly reduce the success rate of the elixir. He could not afford this risk as he could only fail once. As the fighting flame dog howled, a faint and refreshing medicinal fragrance instantly filled the entire square. The condensing essence pill is done. Looking at the purple light shooting out of the alchemy furnace, Lu Kaiyan clenched her hand, and a purple and shiny round pill suddenly appeared in her tender white palm. Excellent quality, she murmured ecstatically. She has been practicing hard every day for half a month, not to mention the excellent quality condensing essence pill. Even the good quality condensing essence pill has only been refined once or twice. Unexpectedly, she performed exceptionally well at the alchemy conference today. Bang, bang, bang. As Lu Kaiyan said this, waves of pills broke. The alchemists who were able to enter the finals were all shocked. When they heard about the excellent quality condensing essence pill, many alchemists failed to refine the pill because of shock. including Chen Wei, who frowned. Chapter 390 A Bold Strike. Something is wrong. I didn't make any mistakes in the process of refining the elixir just now. Chen Wei looked at the silver gelatinous liquid in the elixir furnace with a trace of distress between his brows. After thinking for a while, he stretched out his finger and wiped the failed liquid, and activated the delusion-breaking spirit eye to observe carefully. Inferior quality gas-enhancing liquid, under the vitality of the power of creation, due to the insufficient age of the spiritual medicine, the inferior elixir liquid that cannot be perfectly tempered into the medicinal properties of spiritual plants has extremely high elixir poison impurities and cannot be taken. The age of the spiritual medicine is insufficient. Realizing this crucial point, Chen Wei's frown suddenly relaxed. Could it be that if the spiritual medicine is insufficient in age and the medicinal power is not strong, forcibly activating the creation spirit eye will backfire? Yes, even Liu Kaiyan would use spiritual plants of good age when refining the condensing essence pill. If he wants to refine an elixir of quality that must be above excellent, he can't do it with spiritual medicines of ordinary age. After thinking it through, Chen Wei immediately opened the small screen on the medicine table and entered the spiritual plants he needed for alchemy. Silver air vine, soul-eating grass, air-inducing lotus, golden silk flower. Note, all spiritual medicines must be over 100 years old. After entering the information, Chen Wei tilted his head to look at Liu Kaiyan beside him. As expected, she had already placed the successfully refined condensing essence pill on the medicine table, and the misty purple air instantly attracted the attention of the audience. Not bad. Kaiyan can be said to be a big game player for being able to refine high-quality condensing essence pills, Han Jiao praised casually, but her eyes stayed on Chen Wei, who remained calm. Obviously, compared to Liu Kaiyan, who had successfully made the pill, she cared more about whether the talented Chen Wei would become more courageous after the failure of alchemy, or retreat in the face of difficulties and choose to change to a pill with lower difficulty. Chairman Tan on the side also had a hint of approval on his face. The Three Treasures pill is the most difficult pill to refine among the 5th level pills. Liu Kaiyan was able to hand in such a perfect answer. If it was in the previous alchemy conference, she would have basically secured the first place, but it is hard to say this year. Thinking of this, President Tan looked at Liang Minhu on the alchemy square. At this time, the violent source power fluctuations were gathering in the fiery red pill furnace in front of Liang Minhu. The terrifying momentum even made people think of bombs. You know, alchemists also have to take risks when refining pills, and the Hunty pill is a pill that is extremely easy to explode. In the recent ancient times, although there were only a few stupid alchemists who died in the explosion of the Hunty pill, there were many alchemists who suffered heavy losses due to the failure of alchemy. It is for this reason that each alchemy furnace on the alchemy square is equipped with a protective shield to prevent any accidents. Kazi. The next second, in Liang Minhu's astonished eyes, a thin crack suddenly appeared on the surface of the alchemy furnace. Damn it! The reaction of the Hundi Dan is too sudden. I'm afraid this standard alchemy furnace can't last for 3 minutes. Liang Minhu's pupils shrank, and he subconsciously looked down at the shining star yank that was spewing out a starlight sun flame. God help me, even Liang Minhu's alchemy furnace is about to explode. Isn't it that I must be the first in this alchemy conference? Liu Kaiyan's beautiful eyes lit up slightly as she observed the opponent's situation. Let's fight, and directly control the beast to condense the pill. Liang Minhu's eyes flashed with a fierce look, and he stretched out his right palm and slapped the alchemy furnace that was on the verge of breaking. Boom! As the alchemy furnace exploded, a brown-yellow pill with a bumpy surface that seemed to be about to break instantly rushed into the sky. Yank, Li, the shining star Yank, whose body was shining with starlight, suddenly turned into a red light and swallowed a brown-yellow pill into its stomach. Yang Huo alchemy, Liang Minhu sat cross-legged on the square without hesitation, and the majestic mental power belonging to the yellow-level spiritual realm suddenly burst out. What are you doing? You just let your pet swallow the pill you worked so hard to make. If you don't understand, don't talk nonsense. This is a beast-controlling pill, a secret method of refining medicine that can only be mastered by a master-level alchemist. Master-level alchemist? Isn't Liang Minhu a 5-glory alchemist? If you don't understand what I'm saying, just watch carefully. If Liang Minhu, a 5-glory alchemist, can successfully control the beast and condense the pill, the alchemy world will probably be shaken up. Just as the audience was talking and talking, a dazzling brown light came out of the mouth of the shining starbird. The pill is done. As Liang Minghu uttered a relieved whisper, a strong pill fragrance suddenly came out of the shining starbird. When the flames in the shining starbird's mouth disappeared, a perfect brown pill slowly fell into Liang Minghu's palm under the attention of everyone. It seems that the first place is no longer a suspense. Tan Haobo looked normal, but he was very happy in his heart. As a master alchemist, he only needed to smell it to tell that the quality of this Hundi Dan had reached a good level. A 5th grade upper grade pill versus a 5th grade lower grade pill. Given that the quality of the pills was not much different, Liang Minghu would naturally win. For Tan Haobo, the fact that his personally trained disciple could beat Hanji Iao's disciple was enough to make him proud. There is still 1 hour left in the competition, and the outcome is still undecided. Hanji Iao looked at Chen Wei and said without turning his head, "That's right, Grandmaster Han." Tan Haobo smiled and nodded. In the Alchemy Square, Chen Wei finally received the medicinal materials sent to him by the Alchemy Association. "I'm sorry, because you have a year requirement, the collection of medicinal materials is a little slow. Please forgive me." "It doesn't matter, you can leave." Looking at the remaining time, Chen Wei didn't care about it, and just wanted to race against time to start refining the pill. With a thought, the silver air vine and the air-inducing lotus, which were still covered with dew, rushed into the pill furnace. It's hard to win with only high-quality ki-boosting pills. It seems we have to fight hard. "Yu Tuang, activate the holy flame of destiny," Chen Wei gritted his teeth and ordered. He had only one goal in participating in the alchemy conference, and that was the first place. If he couldn't get the first place, other rankings would be completely meaningless to him. Feeling the firm will of the Beast Master, Yu Tong's eyes condensed, and the holy flame of destiny that he had painstakingly condensed during this period of time suddenly spewed out. What kind of flame is this? Feeling the medicine flame in the alchemy furnace that seemed to be terrified, the alchemists in the square cast their eyes on Chen Wei. "Damn, my pill." An alchemist lowered his head and cursed. The pills that he had worked so hard to refine failed one after another. Who can bear such a painful blow? On the other side, seeing the spectacular scene of the 10,000 fires surrendering, Tan Haobo in the VIP seat took a deep look at Hanji Iao. Epic medicinal flame? Or legendary medicinal flame? You know, only medicinal flames above the 7th level of epic have the power to suppress all fires. This level of flame is not something that a low-level alchemist can subdue. Chapter 391, First in the Conference. Interesting, if this unheard-of strange life source fire is combined with the pure world true flame method, it may be possible to breed an immortal flame comparable to the pure world true flame in the future. Feeling the threat brought by the silver flame, Hanji Iao narrowed her beautiful eyes. "Condensate the flame, Yu Tuang." Chen Wei looked at the alchemy cauldron in front of him with a serious expression. "Meow, no problem." Yu Tong's mind moved, and with a muffled boom sound, the silver-white destiny holy flame in the alchemy cauldron instantly gathered into a ball, emitting a terrifying high temperature. After half a quarter of an hour, when the destiny holy flame in the cauldron was stimulated to the extreme, Chen Wei's eyes flashed with a few bright golden brilliance, and the creation spirit eyes opened directly. The spiritual plants that exuded fragrance quickly turned into groups of spiritual medicine essences of different colors in the silver-white flames. So that's how it is. This is the flow trajectory of the medicinal properties of each drop of spiritual medicine essence. Chen Wei, enduring the pain from deep in his brain, put all his mental power into the red cloud flame array without hesitation, and operated the creation spirit eyes at an overload. Buzz, under the meticulous operation of Chen Wei and Yu Tong, the spiritual medicine essences that were originally unrelated gradually condensed and reshaped into a light silver ball. Use the holy flame to seal the furnace, and then use the red cloud circulation to circulate, 1 movement and 1 refinement, 9 refinements to make the elixir. Under the command of Chen Wei's mind, an almost imperceptible silver light suddenly burst out from the elixir furnace. Then the holy flame of destiny dissipated, and a small silver-white light column suddenly shot up into the sky. Perfect light. Looking at the bright light that shot straight into the sky, the alchemists in the square dared not imagine it, and felt like they were dreaming. You know, excellent quality elixirs can also be refined in batches through the alchemist's superb skills, but the perfect grade elixir, which can be called flawless, cannot be forcibly refined even by the master-level alchemists. Unless the legendary medicine saint makes the elixir, perfect quality elixir is hard to come by, which is the iron rule in the hearts of all alchemists. Therefore, refining an elixir of perfect quality as a collection can be said to be the lifelong dream of every alchemist. It's worth it that I exhausted all my energy and risked my life to refine you." Looking at the silver-white, starlit key-enhancing elixir in the palm of his hand, which seemed to have some intelligence, Chen Wei's almost bloodless face showed a hint of excitement. "You are worthy of being my disciple for being able to refine a perfect elixir." Han Jiao's eyes flashed with a trace of relief. Thinking back to the beginning, she only refined the first perfect elixir after entering the Master Alchemist level. Chen Wei can refine a perfect key-enhancing elixir with a realm of a 4-star alchemist. No, he can refine a perfect key-enhancing elixir with a realm of a 5-star alchemist. Even if Chen Wei cannot break through to the level of a Grandmaster in the future, he can still leave his name in history. What's more, who would think that a pharmacist who can refine a perfect elixir can't become a Grandmaster? It seems that we have to give Chen Wei more insurance, otherwise there might be some bastards hiding in the gutter who will take the risk to assassinate him. Han Jiao's eyes flashed with murderous intent. How is it possible? Tan Haobo, who thought he had won the game, twitched his eyes and lost his previous calmness. How is it impossible? Isn't the so-called record meant to be broken? Han Jiao glanced at him with some dissatisfaction. That's right. Tan Haobo turned from surprise to joy, and began to think in his heart how to add another achievement of being good at discovering geniuses. After all, Chen Wei refined the perfect pill at the alchemy conference he and Han Jiao held together, and these are all achievements. This. Is senior brother Chen really only 19 years old? Lu Kaiyan stared at Chen Wei in a daze. As proud as she was, the moment she saw the perfect key-boosting pill, she finally understood that there is a gap between geniuses. After all, it was still a failure. Liang Minghu shook his head calmly, without a trace of loss on his face, as if the championship of the alchemy conference was insignificant to him. Haven't you gotten rid of the sequelae of seeing through life and death in the yellow-level spirit realm yet? Seeing Liang Minghu's face with no desires, President Tan showed a bit of disappointment in his eyes. On the other side, Chen Wei subconsciously exhaled a breath of turbid air after putting the newly refined key-boosting pill into the white jade bottle. The effect of this creation spirit eye is even stronger than he imagined. If the age of the spiritual medicine is sufficient, he may be able to rely on the power of the creation spirit eye to refine a batch of perfect level pills. As for the age of the medicinal materials, the colorful spirit with the perfect level of calling the wind and rain originally has the ability to ripen, and it is not impossible to increase the age of the spiritual medicine. Thinking of this, Chen Wei placed the jade bottle in his hand, which was the focus of everyone's attention, on the medicine table, then closed his eyes and meditated to recover his state, quietly waiting for the end of the game time. Even if he refines a perfect pill, he is not arrogant and as stable as a rock. This demeanor is really not like a young man, but like an old monster who has become a spirit. Tan Haobo looked at Chen Wei with a strange look. If it weren't for Han Jiao's guarantee, Chen Wei's calm demeanor would have made him want to use the 8th level legendary source device, Heavenly Mirror, in the Alchemy Association building to test whether Chen Wei was the reincarnation of an old monster. After all, Chen Wei's growth experience was really a bit outrageous. Soon, when the time on the big screen in the Alchemy Square returned to 0, Tan Haobo's figure instantly appeared on the referee seat. The perfect pill is a rare treasure. I declare that the champion of this alchemy conference is Chen Wei, Tan Haobo announced concisely. There was no way. The gap between the perfect key enhancement pill and the good Hundi pill was too big, so big that he didn't want to compare them. Compared with Chen Wei's perfect pill, the pills refined by other contestants were not an exaggeration. Chen Wei. Chen Wei. Chen Wei. As President Tan's voice fell, the audience who were fans of Chen Wei stood up and applauded excitedly. Hearing this, Chen Wei's eyes flashed with joy. Even though he knew that the perfect key enhancement pill would definitely win the championship, he finally felt relieved after hearing President Tan announce the result. Next, please invite Chen Wei, the champion of this alchemy conference, to give a speech. After everyone calmed down, President Tan actually stepped back a few steps in front of everyone and made way to stand behind Chen Wei. Seeing this, many alchemists were stunned. In their eyes, President Tan's act of giving way was simply to support Chen Wei. If nothing unexpected happens, Chen Wei's reputation will spread throughout the entire Donghu country's alchemy world after today. Sure enough, as long as Chen Wei participates in the competition, he will always be the first. Yu Zilman looked at Chen Wei with a smile on her face, and her fiery eyes seemed to be about to draw. Congratulations, Brother Chen, Lu Kaiyan said with a smile. If you can't beat them, join them. With brother Chen Wei's potential, he might be able to get some experience if he goes to the dock earlier. Well, it's just a soul-consolidating pill. My happiness is worth more than money. Han Jiao glanced at Chen Wei, and his smile was accompanied by a hint of imperceptible pain. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 392 Dragon-Sucking Water. After the alchemy conference, Chen Wei, who looked a little tired, followed President Tan, the teacher and other big names in the alchemy industry to the Alchemy Association building. In the lounge, Han Jiao looked at Chen Wei's pale face and teased, "How does it feel to overload and activate your innate talent, teacher?" "I feel like my head is about to explode." Chen Wei smiled bitterly. It was okay at first, but as time went on, his brain felt a pain like being pricked by a needle from time to time. It's good to know that it hurts. There is a certain chance that overloading your talent will downgrade your source star. You'd better not be so stubborn next time. The victory or defeat of an alchemy conference can't decide anything. Han Jiao shook his head slightly, and casually took out a pill emitting a little starlight and handed it to him. This is Pian pill, which can effectively make up for mental power and reduce the load on the source star. Thank you, Master. Chen Wei's eyes lit up and he swallowed the pill he took directly into his stomach. Pian pill, which can make up for mental power and source star and prevent damage to the source star, is a rare 4th level top grade pill, and it is very expensive. This pill alone would probably cause a lot of elite beast masters to fight fiercely for it. It seems that his success in winning the first place in the alchemy conference really made the teacher very happy, and he gave him a rare pill at will. Feeling the pure medicinal power overflowing from his body, Chen Wei, who was holding on, couldn't help rubbing his eyebrows and heaved a sigh of relief. "I have to say, you are really good at giving people surprises. This Shenji pill is yours now." Seeing Chen Wei's condition improve, Han Jiao's white fingertips passed across the star ring, and a flawless white jade bottle appeared instantly. Seeing the old-fashioned and incongruous look of the lolly-like teacher Han, Lu Kaiyan, who was sitting next to him, was not surprised at all, but her face showed a little more envy of Chen Wei. The Shenji pill, a pill that can achieve the yellow-level spiritual realm and lay the foundation for the King's Road, is a treasure that can only be exchanged for 100,000 points in the Master's treasury, and there is a limit on the number of exchange places. Even if she had collected 100,000 points with the help of her family, she still couldn't exchange the long-cherished God-binding pill in the treasure house. At this time, seeing Chen Wei excitedly taking the God-binding pill, Lu Kaiyan couldn't help but hold on to a glimmer of hope and asked, "Brother Chen, are you selling this God-binding pill? I can buy it with 150,000 points from the sect." Hearing the gentle whispers beside his ears, Chen Wei shook his head decisively. "Sorry, I want to use this God-binding pill myself, so you should find someone else to buy it." Hearing this, Lu Kaiyan bit her teeth lightly, and disappointment appeared on her face. Looking at the 10 disciples who were unable to buy it, Han Jiao reminded, "The God-binding pill has a powerful medicinal power. It cannot be taken by those who have reached the 5th level of source star cultivation without a firm will. However, with your spiritual cultivation, you can try to take it at the peak of the 4th level of source star, but there is one thing you need to pay attention to. Before taking the God-binding pill, your mental state must be kept perfect. Otherwise the effect may be discounted." "Understood," Chen Wei nodded. After Han Jiao finished explaining the matter, the star ring on Tan Haobo's finger flickered, and a mysterious and simple, black Kyankan medicine cauldron suddenly appeared in the hall. A good horse deserves a good saddle. This Kyankan medicine cauldron is enough to make your medicine refining skills rise by 3 levels. Chen Wei reached out and gently stroked the cauldron in front of him. A faint spirituality flowed on the surface of the cauldron, and then emitted a burst of dazzling brilliance. Seeing the doubt in Chen Wei's eyes, Tan Haobo smiled. "The source instrument has a spirit. This is the Kyankan medicine cauldron's expression of liking you. Do you like me? Maybe there will be a chance to turn the Kyankan medicine cauldron into an instrument-type pet in the future," Chen Wei thought to himself. "Next, we still have to deal with some affairs. You can leave after receiving the reward." Tan Haobo began to order them to leave. Looking at the disappearing figures of Chen Wei and others, Tan Haobo and Han Jiao looked at each other, and then walked together to the secret room on the bottom floor of the medicine refining building, which was the retreat of the 9-turn alchemy emperor. Meanwhile, when Chen Wei and other contestants were receiving their awards at the alchemy building, the outside world was in an uproar. The terms, number 1 alchemist in history, number 1 in alchemy conference, perfect pill, and, who is Chen Wei, were directly ranked first on the hot search list of the Alchemy Association's official website and other news platforms. Chen Wei has refined a 5th grade middle grade perfect pill, ki boosting pill, at the age of 19. This shocking news spread across the country at a rapid speed. Influenced by this, Chen Wei's original tens of millions of fans on social platforms suddenly soared to hundreds of millions. Countless people commented on his account, including many newcomers who wanted to stand out. As the protagonist of the incident, Chen Wei has already leisurely embarked on the way home. I'm back. As soon as he opened the door of the villa, Chen Wei saw Bai Luo with an innocent face and the golden and familiar fish scales in his hand. Chen Wei widened his eyes and swallowed his saliva. Bai Luo, you didn't eat Xiaojin. Bai Luo blinked and shook his head quickly. Chirp, Cyrillic lettered X. I didn't, it wasn't me. Looking at Bai Luo, who came to explain frantically, Chen Wei touched his chin and asked in confusion, then where did the fish scales on your hand come from? Chirp, this is a reward? Finding that the explanation was not clear, Bai Luo waved his hand, and Xiaojin, who was emitting golden light, instantly appeared on the floor. His pair of cute eyes were more curious than before. Pet name, Xiaojin, red-tailed gold, pet attribute, dragon, racial skills, water leap, dragon sucking water, strength level, juvenile level 7. Wow, not only has his strength increased by 1 level, but he has also learned a new skill. Could Xiaojin be the top genius among the red-tailed gold race? Chen Wei's face changed slightly, and he focused his attention on Xiaojin's extra skills. Skill, dragon sucking water, level, second order water skill, introduction, in lakes, rivers, streams and other water surfaces with abundant water resources. It can set off a high-speed rotating water column and gather all the surrounding water together. It is not very powerful, but it can be used to obtain water. Well, after reading the skill introduction, Chen Wei said that he overestimated Xiaojin. This rubbish dragon-sucking water skill can probably only be used to sprinkle water flowers and grow plants. Using the skill to fight? I'm afraid Xiaojin will get beaten. Disappointed, Chen Wei grabbed Xiaojin and said to Bai Luo, did you teach it this dragon-sucking water skill? Chirp, yes, it used fish scales to exchange skills with me. Bai Luo nodded triumphantly, and then raised a large group of fish scales in his hand. Chirp, I want to eat crispy fish scales and fish scale jelly. Chen Wei was silent when he heard the 2 dish names called out by Bai Luo. Even the names of the dishes were so clear, Bai Luo obviously had a plan in advance. Chapter 393, Exploring the Abnormality. Me, who, hearing that they could eat Xiaojin's fish scales, Kailing and Yutong's eyes lit up immediately. Even Taote, who rushed to go fishing every time he returned home, looked at Chen Wei with eagerness. Okay, I understand, Chen Wei said helplessly. Let me make it clear first. I have never cooked with fish scales. I can only play freely. Hearing this, Kailing's mind moved, and the book on the sofa drifted in front of Chen Wei under the control of telekinesis. He looked closely and saw that the page was about the methods of deep-fried fish scales and fish scale jelly. Xiaojin finally made your arrangements clear, Chen Wei sighed. Since one is willing to fight and the other is willing to suffer, what else can he say as a beastmaster? There are still some eggs and starch left in the kitchen, and the ingredients are sufficient. It's just right to make 2 portions to try. Maybe Xiaojin's fish scales really have some effect. He took the fish scales from Bai Luo's hand, and while directing Taote, the housekeeper, to handle the ingredients, stir the eggs, and start frying the dishes in the hot pan. Soon, when Chen Wei took out a plate of chewy fish scale jelly and a plate of golden, plump, and crispy fried fish scales from the kitchen, the 4 pets instantly appeared neatly at the table, revealing a greedy look. Not really, I didn't see you so anxious when I made a 4th level elixir for you. Are these 2 plates of fish scales so fragrant? Chen Wei felt that his alchemy skills were questioned by the pets. Apart from anything else, how can the red-tailed goldfish scales of ordinary races be compared with 4th level elixirs? One is worth tens of star coins, and the other is worth tens of millions of star coins. There is no comparison between the 2. Bai Luo picked up a spoon, scooped up a spoonful of fish scale jelly and swallowed it into his mouth. The delicious soup that melted in his mouth instantly made him fall into a state of unconsciousness. Shiji, oh, it's delicious. Kailing and Yutong looked at each other and decisively started eating, leaving only Teodi still looking at Chen Wei pitifully, as if asking for advice. Let's eat, Chen Wei patted Teodi's head. Just 5 minutes later, the 2 plates of fish scales on the table were eaten up by the 4 pets who were still not satisfied, leaving only the high-level source crystals with sufficient source power. Yin, at this moment, Kailing let out an excited hum, and a bright light instantly bloomed from its body. The domineering dragon power permeated the restaurant in an instant, and even the corners of the table were broken into pieces. Skill, Hidden Dragon in the Abyss, Level, 6th Level Dragon Skill, Proficiency, Beginner, Proficient. Seeing the information identified by the delusion-breaking spirit eyes, Chen Wei looked at the empty plate with some surprise. Eating Xiaojin's fish scales can increase skill proficiency? After all, Kailing has never trained this hidden dragon in the abyss. Just when Chen Wei was in doubt, Yutong seemed to have eaten too much and burped. As a result, a ball of red gold flame came out of her mouth and melted a small hole in the table. Skill, Flame Dragon Chasing the Sun, Proficiency, Beginner, Proficient. 1 is accidental, and both are like this, which means that Xiaojin's fish scales may really have a miraculous effect of increasing skill proficiency. Chen Wei looked at Bai Luo with some expectation. As a result, Bai Luo just scratched his head with a blank look. Did you feel any changes? Chen Wei asked softly. Chirp, Greek letter omega? No, it seems that the gap in strength is too big, Chen Wei thought to himself. If even Bai Luo can be strengthened, then the secret hidden in Xiaojin is too exaggerated. Maybe he can't resist the temptation and feeds Xiaojin to Kailing to avoid accidents. Perhaps it was because Teodi ate the least. Until the training began, it was filled with a faint glow. Then the armor full of technology began to deform rapidly, and broken mechanical fragments fell from its dragon claws. Skill, Absolute Shadow Dragon Claw, Proficiency, Beginner, Proficient. Looking at the information identified by the broken delusion spirit eye, Chen Wei's heart moved. Just by eating the scales shed by Xiaojin, the pet's 6th level king skill proficiency can be increased. If Xiaojin's flesh and blood is eaten, it is possible that the pet's 7th level or even 8th level skill proficiency can be quickly increased. Thinking of this, Chen Wei immediately searched for the advanced breeding methods of red-tailed goldfish in the Beast Management book. How to quickly breed red-tailed goldfish into red gold moonfish, the breeding method of golden flower moonfish, the evolution series of gem dragonfish. After browsing the information in the Beast Management book, Chen Wei couldn't help but sigh. As a low-level ordinary race, there are currently only 4 evolutionary maps of red-tailed goldfish. Each evolutionary route requires a long cultivation of 5 years or 3 years, and they are all the evolutionary directions of beautiful appearance but almost no change in strength. After thinking about it, Chen Wei took out his mobile phone, took a photo of Xiaojin and sent it to Guan Qingxin, who had almost no contact. As a fellow fish enthusiast, Guan Qingxin, who has been breeding blue king dragonfish for many years, may be able to give him a good suggestion. Red-tailed goldfish picture. Hello, this is the dragonfish I recently cultivated. I want to get it out of the larval stage in the shortest possible time. Is there any way to do it? After sending the message, Chen Wei directly picked up the 4 pets and began to strengthen the dragon power every day. In the dormitory area of the beast taming department of Zidian University, there is a luxurious villa next to the mountain and the water. Guan Qingxin opened her red lips slightly, looking at the photo on the phone in disbelief, almost thinking that she had seen the wrong contact. After all, how could Chen Wei, who had just won the first place in the alchemy conference, and was both a master in beast taming and alchemy, and had infinite potential, cultivate a mediocre red-tailed goldfish? No, it could even be said to be the shame of dragonfish. If Chen Wei wanted it, I'm afraid even the blue king of dragonfish, one of the kings of dragonfish, could easily contract it. Guan Qingxin, who is unpredictable, thought for a moment and quickly called his father for support. After all, Chen Wei is now on fire, and the beast masters who want to have a good relationship with him can almost line up from Zidan City to the city gate of Yulong City. This rare opportunity to make friends should not be missed. So, when Chen Wei finished strengthening the dragon power, he found that his mobile phone had received a lot of information about the evolution of dragonfish. He looked at the various breeding plans summarized by Guan Qingxin and fell into deep thought. The racial level of the red-tailed goldfish was too low, and the high-level beast resources could not be fully digested, and there was even a risk of death. Although the carefully configured breeding resources in the plan were better than the method he found in the beast illustration, they were not much better. Is there a better plan? If so, I owe you a favor, Chen Wei replied to the message. If only the pets that have left the larval stage can try to evolve, and if the dragon power to strengthen Zyojin's strength has limited effect, he would not be willing to pay such a high price. But as long as the secret of Zyojin can be explored in the end, then all this is worth it. Chapter 394, The Secret Method of Climbing the Dragon. A favor, Guan Kingson was slightly startled when he saw the message. It was just a red-tailed goldfish, but Chen Wei took it so seriously. Guan Kingson, Father, can I give Chen Wei the secret of leaping dragon gate? On the virtual screen, a mature man in black clothes, with sparse eyebrows but handsome eyes, said solemnly. The secret of leaping dragon gate is the secret of our Guan family. It can even be said to be the foundation of our family. Do you think the favor of this 4th-level genius of Source Star is worth breaking the rules? The favor of a low-level beastmaster is certainly not worth it, but Chen Wei may become an epic powerhouse in the future, or even a legendary powerhouse that I dare not even think about in my life. Not enough. The mature man shook his head slightly. There is no shortage of geniuses in this world. What is lacking is the growing geniuses. Chen Wei's master is Han Jiao. Is this enough? Guan Kingson said with a smile. Master Han, the mature man paused for a moment. Okay, I agree with your request, but the Yulongman secret method can only bring out one of the basic secret methods, the climbing dragon method. Don't even think about the core secret method. Do you understand? I understand. Watching the screen in front of her disappear, Guan Kingson's smile gradually faded. In the case that she did not actively compete for the position of the head of the family, the support of a disciple of a great master of alchemy was enough to keep her out of trouble. I have a secret method that has an 80% chance of allowing a dragonfish pet to advance to the lower level of the first level within half a year, or even evolve. I'll send you the information. In order to maximize the favor, Guan Kingson directly sent some of the information about the Yulongman secret method to Chen Wei's mobile phone. Racial evolution is the most important transformation in the growth process of most pets. Even a weak dragonfish in nature can become a real dragon flying in the sky through multiple evolutions, that is, leaping through the dragon gate, and the dragonfish's quality requirements for leaping through the dragon gate are extremely high, so it is necessary to strengthen the dragonfish in 3 aspects, namely the body, source power and will, so that the fish can be transformed into a dragon. Seeing this, Chen Wei's pupils suddenly shrank. What he wanted was a method to quickly get rid of the larval stage of the red-tailed goldfish, but Guan Kingson actually sent a secret method for the dragonfish to transform into a dragon. This favor can be said to be a big debt. However, when Chen Wei turned to the back of these materials, he found that he had thought too much. There was no mention of the evolution method of leaping through the dragon gate at the back. Instead, the whole text was about a secret method called climbing the dragon method. Using pure dragon blood, preferably real dragon blood, can help the dragonfish's body to change its muscles and cleanse its marrow, thus taking the first step of physical transformation. After the dragonfish's body is forged, you can use the 6th level spiritual plant, golden top dragon grass, to use the dragon climbing method to remove the source power in the dragonfish's body and greatly improve the fish dragon's intelligence and the purity of its magic core. Finally, use a 6th level top grade elixir, fish marrow dragon pill, as a guide to lay a perfect foundation, which can maximize the potential of the dragonfish pet, allowing the dragonfish to perfectly leave the larval stage and enter the first stage, and there is a more than 50% probability of evolving into a 7th level epic real dragon in the future. Note, if you want to maximize the power of the dragon climbing method, it is best to choose a special dragonfish with a race level of Brilliant King to cultivate. Even if the dragonfish with a race level lower than the king uses the dragon climbing method, the potential can only be improved to evolve into a 6th level dragon at most. After reading the secret method information, Chen Wei finally understood how huge the gap between ordinary beastmasters and family beastmasters is. The old-fashioned beast-controlling families have developed a perfect system for breeding pets. This low-grade dragon climbing method alone can breed a 7th level epic real dragon with a high probability. Then the middle grade and high grade profound dragon leaping secret method can breed a legendary real dragon. Guan Kingson, using the first and second steps of the dragon climbing method, red tail gold can advance within half a year, but if you are willing to use the fish marrow dragon pill, The time can be shortened to 3 months, but it is too wasteful of resources, understood? After expressing his gratitude to Guan Kingxin, Chen Wei looked at the 4 curious pets in front of him. Dragon blood is easy to deal with, but whose dragon blood to use is a problem. You must know that Bai Luo's dragon blood has the most source power, Kailing's dragon blood is the purest, Teodi's dragon blood is the highest level, and Yutong's dragon blood is the most noble. Xiaojin needs dragon blood to advance. Who among you wants to help? Chen Wei said. Chirp, can dragon blood be exchanged for small goldfish scales? Bai Luo smacked his lips and thought of the delicious dinner again. I'll do it. Kailing's eyes lit up, and her body instantly wrapped around Chen Wei's neck and acted like a spoiled child. Roar, willing to listen to the master's orders, Teodi responded with saliva dripping from his mouth. Then use your dragon blood, Kailing, first, and let's try the effect first. As for the fish scales, you can communicate with Xiaojin yourself, Chen Wei said softly. Although his mental power is extremely powerful, it is not enough to communicate with a low IQ red-tailed goldfish, unless he signs a beast control contract with Xiaojin. In the early morning, by the stream in the spiritual plant space, a goldfish with scales like golden silk and a faint glow was sinking in a fish tank made of dragon source crystals with its eyes closed. The fish tank was filled with red blood. With a breeze blowing and Xiaojin's breathing, an almost imperceptible dragon roar sounded quietly, and the pure energy in the dragon blood began to slowly warm Xiaojin's body along his body surface. At this rate, I'm afraid that Xiaojin will be promoted to the next level in half a month. Chen Wei looked expectant. Since obtaining the dragon climbing method, Chen Wei has been in the spirit plant space for a full 5 days. During this period, except for the necessary class attendance, he basically practiced hard in the spirit plant space, and pushed the Zixa Club's affairs as much as possible. But because Xiaojin's strength is too low, the little dragon blood that Kailing casually took out is enough for it to practice with a dragon climbing method for 10 days and a half months. So Chen Wei will focus on the cultivation and development of Teodi, except for occasionally paying attention to whether Xiaojin's practice is wrong. Can you transform into this? Chen Wei pointed to the battle angel whose energy was absorbed by Teodi. Sure. After saying that, Teodi quickly transformed, and in the blink of an eye, it turned into a domineering mecha holding a shield in one hand and a holy sword in the other. What about the Zuinio got armor? That's okay, master, Teodi nodded, and the next second his body quickly transformed into the terrifying Zuinio that shook the world. Unfortunately, this transformation is just an empty form, and it can't fully exert the power of the Zuinio got armor. In fact, the infinite dragon emperor's posture is stronger. Chen Wei, who opened his delusion-breaking spiritual eyes, immediately discovered the shortcomings of Teodi's transformation. If he bullied a weak opponent, the momentum of the Zuinio posture would definitely suppress the whole scene, but if he faced an opponent of equal strength, he would be exposed as soon as he started. Chapter 395 Record Refresh. A week later, Chen Wei took a bite of the fish scale jelly he cooked, and then quietly felt a strange energy flowing through his body after the fish scale jelly entered his mouth. Under this weak but extremely pure energy, even his dragon-controlling power began to fluctuate slightly. Incredible, Xiaojin's fish scales can not only increase the proficiency of dragon skills, but also increase the power of his innate talent. Chen Wei stared blankly at the food in front of him. Although the amplification effect was extremely slight, he could clearly sense with his mental power that the dragon-controlling power in his body had increased a little. If I can eat Xiaojin's fish scales every day, or if Xiaojin's strength is stronger, wouldn't my dragon-controlling power be able to reach a higher level? Chen Wei thought to himself. During this period of time, Xiaojin would automatically shed his scales every week under the marrow washing and hair removal of the climbing dragon method, and the shed fish scales were basically fed to the 4 pets. It was not until today that he became interested in tasting it that he discovered another wonderful use of Xiaojin's fish scales. It seems that the fish marrow dragon pill must be matched, Chen Wei murmured. Although he could not refine the 6th grade fish marrow dragon pill, he could use the huge amount of credits to ask Senior Sister Ten to refine the pill, or exchange it directly in the Master's treasure house. Points. After entering Zidane University, you really need points for everything. It's true that a penny can make a hero fall. Chen Wei opened his eyes and sighed. It takes 100,000 master points to exchange for the Pure World True Flame method, and tens of thousands of master points to exchange for fish marrow dragon pill. Even if Zidane University credits can be exchanged for master points, the total of these points is a huge amount. Ordinary Zidane University graduates may not be able to collect this huge amount of credits in 5 years. Fortunately, the freshman protection period ends after tonight, otherwise it would be really difficult to earn so many credits in a short time. Looking at the time, there was still 1 minute before 12 o'clock. Chen Wei directly used his mobile phone to log on to the Zhui ranking to challenge Han Wuguang, who was ranked first on the Zhui ranking. "Sorry, junior sister, I'm really short of credits," Chen Wei whispered, and challenged Lu Kaiyan, who ranked first on the Purple Star ranking. In order to promote healthy competition among talented Beastmasters, guide and inspire students' fighting spirit and goals, the competition of the Zidane Devil ranking, especially the competition of the top 3, will be broadcast live by Zidane University, and the competition information will be pushed in advance. So before dawn the next day, the news that Chen Wei challenged the first place on the Zhui ranking and the Purple Star ranking at the same time spread all over Zidane University. Hearing this news, Gao Jingshen, the third in Zhui, said in a cold tone, "Didn't I tell you several times to contact Chen Wei? It seems that you didn't take my words to heart." The Chongsam woman beside him bowed her head slightly. "Brother, Chen Wei never goes out except for classes. I wanted to meet him and talk to him according to the large class courses announced by the alchemy department, but he didn't go to the alchemy class at all." "This is an excuse." Gao Jingsheng looked up at his sister. "With your connections in Rosewood University, as long as Chen Wei doesn't skip classes, you can meet him as much as you want." Hearing this, the sweet woman frowned. "He and I are not suitable at all. Why don't you go, brother?" "Well, since you don't like it, forget it." Gao Jingsheng looked at her seriously. "Brother, this is for your own good. With your conditions, Chen Wei is the best match. I hope you won't regret it in the future. Su Chengshin is not suitable for you at all." After saying that, Gao Jingsheng stepped out of the club with a little boredom. "Is Chen Wei really as strong as the rumors say? You know, he is only 19 years old, in a luxurious large flat, a young man with chestnut hair standing up, a straight nose, and slightly raised lips, who looked a little arrogant, frowned. This arrogant young man is Han Wuguang, who has been ranked first on the Zhui list for many years. Brother Ji Ren, you have played an exhibition match with him. What do you think of his strength, Chen Wei? Although I underestimated the enemy in that battle, I also played nearly 80% of my combat power. In my opinion, this guy is definitely the most evil beast-controlling genius since the founding of Donghu country. You may not be his opponent in a single fight, but in a 3 versus 3, you may have a chance to win." Ji Ren took a sip of the teacup and said solemnly. Fortunately, he graduated quickly, otherwise, as a senior student in the 5th year, if he was defeated by a freshman in the 1st year, he would really lose face. As for the failed exhibition match before, it was purely a performance, not a battle, and winning or losing didn't matter. "Oh, Brother Ji, you mean a one-on-one duel between pets? I am not Chen Wei's opponent." Han Wuguang raised his eyebrows. "Yes, I suspect that Chen Wei's ice dragon is a real dragon with a race level close to the Overlord," Ji Ren said. "How is it possible? A real dragon that is comparable to a real dragon cannot succumb to a low-level beastmaster," Han Wuguang subconsciously denied. "The Han family not only has epic masters to dominate the overall situation, but also has legendary ancestors sitting in the ancestral land. Under the influence of what he has read and seen, he knows a lot of secrets of the strong. You know, even epic masters find it difficult to tame a proud real dragon of the same level. Even the famous dragon-controlling family of the Guan family in Zitan City, which turns dragonfish into dragons, has a chance of being attacked by real dragons. How can a low-level beastmaster like Chen Wei subdue a quasi-overlord dragon? If the ice dragon that can defeat the infinite red dragon is not a quasi-overlord, do you believe it?" Ji Ren looked directly at Han Wuguang. "You mean Chen Wei falsified the pet's information? Isn't the race level of Kongming Frost Dragon a transcendent leader?" "No, I didn't say that. Whether it's rare natural treasures or precious elixirs, they can all potentially raise the pet's race level." Ji Ren shook his head. "Then let's decide who's better on the ring." "An ice dragon alone can't defeat me," Han Wuguang said calmly. In his eyes, who believes in power, only strength can prove everything. "Brother Chen wants to challenge me, in an alchemy room with a strong earth fire." Lu Kaiyan looked at the notification message of the competition on his mobile phone with an extremely wonderful expression. "It's okay to be abused once at the alchemy conference," But now he's here? What's the first place on the purple star list? I'll give it to you, it's all just a false title. Lucayan, who said she was lying flat, pressed the surrender button on her mobile phone without hesitation. Ding, because you have surrendered, this qualifying competition is cancelled. So, under the surprised eyes of many students, Lucayan, who had been at the top of the purple star list on the official website of Zidane University for nearly a year, suddenly dropped to second place. Chen Wei directly broke the record of Rosewood University and ranked first on the purple star list as a freshman. Chapter 396, The Bastion Swallows the Dragon. After class, Chen Wei said to Yu Zilman beside him, "Let's postpone today's alchemy party for another day. I have a competition to deal with tonight, then let's all go to the scene tonight to cheer for the captain." Yu Xianglu looked at everyone. "That's not necessary. It's just a beast control competition. I can handle it quickly. If you follow me, the competition site may be crowded with your suitors." Chen Wei laughed and teased. Hearing this, Yu Xianglu subconsciously glanced at the sunny young man not far behind him, and couldn't help but feel more annoyed with Wang Yang's existence. Wang Yang is a famous old hand in the flower field of Zidane University. Because of his strong strength, he ranked 5th on the Zhuyi list in his senior year, and there is never a lack of girls around him. However, for some reason, he launched a fierce offensive against her during this period. Although the Yu family and the Wang family still maintained some contact, Yu Xianglu still did not give Wang Yang a good look. "Captain, what suitors? They are all a bunch of annoying guys," Yu Xianglu complained. "Before I become a master alchemist, I won't consider falling in love. It's too troublesome, Captain, don't you think so?" Hearing this, Yu Yang looked at his cousin in surprise. On weekdays, she always talks about Captain Chen Wei when refining medicine. Now who would believe you if you say you want to concentrate on cultivation? Sure enough, the more beautiful the girl is, the easier it is to deceive people. Yes, falling in love is too superficial. Concentrating on cultivation, seeking longevity, and finally serving the country or traveling all over the world is what we pursue. Chen Wei nodded slightly. It is not easy for him to train a qualified alchemist with great effort. If the members become love-brained and run to fall in love, instead of working hard to improve their alchemy skills, wouldn't the source of Dan Qi for Lingmao be reduced a lot? Hearing Chen Wei's praise, Yu Xianglu's eyebrows curved and she smiled. The captain has lofty ambitions and wants to become a powerful dragon rider and a master alchemist with 1,000 years of life. In order to catch up with the captain's pace, always stand beside the captain, and become a qualified partner. She will not waste time and energy on matters between men and women. "Chen Wei, are you sure you can win?" Yu Zilman said worriedly. Han Wuguang has been ranked first on the Zhuyi list for many years, suppressing thousands of talented beast masters, and his strength is very strong. At this point, Chen Wei's face showed a trace of solemnity. "Before the real head-on confrontation, I am not sure of winning based on the partial information collected so far." Yu Zilman was slightly stunned. She has known Chen Wei for so long, but this is the first time she has seen Chen Wei so afraid of someone. Wu Yaojin asked curiously, "Then how sure are you, Captain?" Chen Wei looked up at her and said in a heavy tone, "Only 88% sure. If it is just a competition of pet strength, he is 100% sure, but the trouble involved in this game seems to be more than he imagined." Everyone, Wu Sixi couldn't help but reach out and hug Chen Wei's neck like a buddy. 80%. What's the difference between this certainty and a sure win, Captain? Are you kidding us? She tilted her head to look at her teammates for approval. And then saw Yu Zilman and Yu Xianglu staring at her arms and chest as she hugged the captain. Wu Sixi's body stiffened, and she subconsciously loosened her arms. "Sorry, Captain, I'm a little excited." Chen Wei, whose eyes were briefly drowned in the huge darkness, coughed lightly. "It doesn't matter, we are all teammates, so what's the harm even if it happens again?" All major events that happened in Zidane University could not escape the attention of the school's senior leaders, and they even deliberately fanned the flames behind the scenes, so that the news of the battle for the top spot on the Zhuyi list spread to Zidane City and even Nanjiang Province. Tan Zuking happened to be sitting on the sofa with her teacher Han Jiao and chatting about the storm. One of them is a queen and the other is a lolly. Judging from their appearance alone, I'm afraid many people would mistake Tan Zuking for the teacher. "Teacher, junior brother Chen Wei has already started challenging Zhuyi for first place." "Yes, I know. Is there any problem?" Director Tan Yuangzi hopes that junior brother Chen Wei will admit defeat in the battle. so that Han Wuguang can maintain the top position of Ziwei ranking for the last year and complete the honor of 3 years of champion. As a price, he can compensate junior brother Chen Wei with 360,000 credits, a 7th level medium-grade defense source device, and a captain's place in the national beast taming competition. Interesting, in order to let his disciple be on the list of Donghu country's Xianjiao, Tan Yuanzi really doesn't even want the face of a legendary strong man. Han Jiao shook his head slightly, as if it was a little incredible. You know, with Han Wuguang's strength, he is definitely not afraid of Chen Wei. Tan Yuanzi probably has other intentions for doing this. What does Chen Wei say? Junior brother said that everything depends on the teacher's ideas, Tan Zuking said softly. Then let him go all out. My disciple, Han Jiao, either doesn't fight, or he will win the first place. Han Jiao smiled contemptuously. Tan Yuanzi is really crazy. Match fixing will only ruin Chen Wei and Han Wuguang. I understand, Tan Zuking breathed a sigh of relief. In an ancient and luxurious office, Tan Yuanzi listened to his subordinates' reports, his calm face without a trace of surprise. Rejected? Expected answer. Unfortunately, Chen Wei's talent and luck are extremely amazing. If he can win directly, Wuguang can easily use Bash Swallowing Dragon to devour part of Chen Wei's talent and luck, thereby enhancing his potential. By then, it may not be a problem for him to be in the top 3 of the list of geniuses, Tan Yuanzi thought to himself. Well, since it doesn't work, let's forget about it. With Wuguang's strength, it shouldn't be difficult to defeat Chen Wei. By the way, arrange for the battle for the top spot on this Ziwei competition to be broadcast live nationwide. Got it? Yes, got it. Watching his men leave the office, Tan Yuanzi murmured, Wuguang, this time I have arranged a great stage for you. With the eyes of the national audience, perhaps your talent can greatly swallow up Chen Wei's terrifying luck. I hope you won't let me down. Night fell, and it was soon time for the Ziwei competition to start. With the promotion of Tan Yuanzi, many students who admired Chen Wei or Han Wuguang came to the battle square to cheer. There were thousands of Beastmasters sitting in the audience alone. There are so many people. Fortunately, we grabbed a seat in advance. Yu Zilmin, who was sitting in the front row, was relieved. Ah, Chen Wei is here. Chen Wei is number 1, I love you. When Chen Wei walked onto the battle stage, a sharp female voice rang out in the crowded audience. This voice sounds familiar. Chen Wei subconsciously looked in the direction where the voice came from, but all he saw were excited unfamiliar faces. Chapter 397, Giant got poison armor. It was a close call. I was almost discovered. Yu Xianglu, who was huddled up and covered with a veil, couldn't help but cover her chest with her hands. Her heart seemed to be about to jump out. For her, who is virtuous, gentle and well-behaved, such an act of shouting and confessing in public was undoubtedly a crazy thing. But for some reason, she felt a little indescribable excitement in her heart. Yu Xianglu touched the source device on her face that concealed her breath, and then looked carefully at Yu Zilman and others in the distance. She refused the invitation of her teammates on the pretext of refining medicine, and it would be embarrassing if she was discovered by the team members now. Cousin, why are you here? Hearing the familiar voice coming from behind, Yu Xianglu's body stiffened, and then she looked at the fully armed Beastmaster with a look that seemed to be able to kill people. You, when did you come? She subconsciously put her hands on Yu Yang's shoulders and said expressionlessly. Me? I've always been here. Yu Yang blinked. So you all heard it? Then let's die together. Yu Xianglu grabbed his neck directly. Her tone was very excited. No, cousin, do you think we are all fools? Everyone in the team knows that you like Captain Chen Wei. Yu Yang couldn't help but complain. Just as the two siblings were fighting, Lu Zizhen used his source power to speak on the platform, and his serious voice immediately suppressed the noise of the entire battle square. I am Lu Zizhen, Associate Professor of the Battle Department. I will host this battle. Let me briefly talk about the rules of this competition. I hope everyone will keep quiet. Both sides will send out their own pets to fight 3 versus 3 singles. When all 3 pets of one side lose their combat ability, or the Beastmaster himself loses his combat ability, they will lose. Next, let's invite the challenger Chen Wei and the defender Han Wuguang to the stage. As Lu Zizhen's voice fell, a young man wearing a black hat, with a straight nose, delicate features, thin lips, and looking very arrogant walked onto the stage. Hello, I'm Han Wuguang, a Master Beastmaster. At this point, Han Wuguang raised his right hand, and the star ring between his fingers burst into blood-red glow. Hiss, 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 in the red summoning symbol array, a ferocious giant snake that was more than 20 meters long, purple-red, with a forked tail like a hook, a huge mouth opened like an angry dragon, and many poisonous needles on both sides of its slender body fell on the ring. Pet name, Hooked Dragon Venomous Snake. Pet attributes, Poison, Dragon, Racial level, Brilliant King, Strength level, Upper level of the 5th level, Racial skills, Hooked Dragon Venomous Sting, Drunken Dragon Poison Cloud, Poison Dragon Roar, Giant God Poison Armor, King's Pressure. Pet introduction. As an amphibious poisonous snake, the Hooked Dragon Venomous Snake not only has the Copper Mountain Iron Wall scales like the Dragon Clan, but its tail also has a terrifying toxin that is enough to poison a giant dragon. It is an extremely dangerous snake beast. Note, the Hooked Dragon Viper can transform into poisonous real dragon, extremely poisonous Hooked Dragon, hated by thousands of dragon species by poisoning and devouring the dragon race. Chen Wei's face slightly condensed after observing the information of the Hooked Dragon Viper with his delusion-breaking spirit eyes. No wonder Ji Ren was defeated by Han Wuguang. This Hooked Dragon Viper is not only powerful, but also has such a strong poison in its body. Poisonous pet beast, just use the spirit system to restrain it. Chen Wei's mind moved, and in the dazzling white talisman array, the figure of K Ling instantly appeared. Kongming Frost Dragon? Are you serious? Seeing this, the faces of the talented students in the audience changed. Although the poison system does not restrain the dragon system, which Beastmaster ranked at the top of the Zui list does not know that Han Wuguang's Hooked Dragon Viper is extremely restrained against dragon pet beasts. Did Chen Wei collect intelligence before the challenge? Chen Wei, Intermediate Beastmaster, Pet Beast Kongming Frost Dragon. Hearing the Intermediate Beastmaster mentioned by Chen Wei, the audience in the battle square couldn't help but burst into an uproar. Interesting, you came out too soon, and you haven't even updated your professional Beastmaster information. Han Wuguang's eyes flashed. The game begins. Seeing that both sides were ready, Lu Zezhen waved his hand. The poisonous dragon roars to test. As Han Wuguang's mind moved, the fierce light in the eyes of the Hooked Dragon Venomous Snake burst out. A terrifying venomous dragon gathered behind it, and in the blink of an eye, it crossed a distance of dozens of meters and appeared in front of K Ling. Surrounded by frost, K Ling floated in the air, her golden eyes slightly bright, and several ice blue barriers with amazing defense instantly stopped the powerful poisonous dragon. Zzz. Looking at the ice shield that was completely eroded by the severe toxins, and the purple poisonous smoke that spread on the opposite platform, Chen Wei's pupils suddenly shrank, and he subconsciously covered his mouth and nose with his hands. Be careful, if you inhale the toxins of the Hooked Dragon Venomous Snake, you will fall into coma within 30 seconds, Han Wuguang reminded. Use telekinesis to isolate the poison. Upon hearing this, K Ling's powerful mental power was released, and a shallow telekinesis protection layer was formed on her and Chen Wei's bodies. It's useless. The poison of the Hooked Dragon Venomous Snake can be corroded even by telekinesis. Dragon Drunken Poison Cloud, Han Wuguang thought. Boom, the venom from the Hooked Dragon Venomous Snake's body continued to spray into the sky, creating a miserable purple poisonous cloud in the sky. The occasional dripping liquid of the poisonous mist corroded several bottomless pits on the ground. Use the frozen and desolate area to fight for the terrain and drive away the poisonous cloud in the sky. Chen Wei's palm rose with red gold flames, and a punch evaporated a few drops of poisonous rain falling from the sky. K Ling looked up to the sky and spit out a cold and piercing frost dragon breath, and the terrifying coldness instantly swept out from all around her. With bursts of fine snow falling, the place where Chen Wei was instantly dyed into a flawless ice field, and even the poisonous cloud brewing in the sky was forced back dozens of meters. We are almost ready. Now it depends on whether your dragon can withstand this move of the giant poison armor. Han Wuguang looked up at the majestic poison source power that permeated the surroundings, and decided to use a skill that could make the final decision. I saw a dazzling scarlet light burst out from the eyes of the Hooked Dragon Snake, and the purple-red venom accumulated in the poisonous cloud above fell like a rainstorm, and the surging venom directly submerged the huge Hooked Dragon Snake. Gurgle, the venom kept rolling and bubbling, and even the surface color changed from purple to purple-red. The next second, the venom erupted and formed, and a terrifying poisonous dragon with a body length of 100 meters, which was wrapped in a large amount of purple-red poison, rose from the ground in an instant. The purple-red poisonous dragon just exhaled slightly, and the terrifying poison that could corrode everything suddenly spread and exploded. The game has just begun, and Han Wuguang actually took out such a killer as the giant poison armor. Gao Jingshen, who was sitting in the audience, couldn't help but shrink his pupils. As an old opponent, he knew clearly that Han Wuguang had always regarded the giant poison armor posture of the hooked dragon venomous snake as a forbidden move in the battle. Because if he was not careful, the horrible poison was enough to kill any pet of the same level instantly. Chapter 398 5 Prime Ministers. 1 vs 1 Unbeatable? Brother Jiren, I am different from you, the poisonous dragon roars, Han Wuguang commanded with his mind. Boom. As the hooked dragon venomous snake completely erupted its venom, the sky suddenly turned black, and 9 purple-red dragons formed by the venom quickly attacked K-Ling from all directions. At the same time, with the blessing of the giant poison armor on its body, the hooked dragon venomous snake retracted its tail and approached at lightning speed. Do you want to use close combat to infect K-Ling with a deadly poison? Chen Wei thought in his heart. Saint Dragon Entanglement Mind Power Blockade. After Chen Wei gave the order, a strong mind power surged from K-Ling's mind, turning into an impeccable shackle to try to restrain the hooked dragon venomous snake. Zilla zilla, this is the sound of the mind power being eroded by the poison. Feeling a strange toxin spreading rapidly along with her telekinesis, K-Ling's eyes condensed, and she decisively cut off her telekinesis output. The dragon claws wrapped in thick frost cut through the space at a terrifying speed and fiercely faced the 9 poisonous dragons. Boom, gun smoke filled the air, and venom splashed. K-Ling looked at the frost covering the dragon claws being eroded and discolored, and a trace of fear flashed in her eyes. She subconsciously urged the source power, and the frost surged rapidly, and drops of ice water stained with poison dripped from her dragon claws. Holy Dragon Entangled Eternal Frost Seal Destroy? Looking at the hooked dragon venomous snake approaching rapidly behind the mimic poisonous dragon, Chen Wei's face changed slightly. In an instant, K-Ling's surging ice source power turned into an unstoppable beam of light. The Eternal Frost Key, which can be regarded as the ultimate ice power, froze all the space around the battlefield in an instant, and even the aggressive hooked dragon venomous snake covered with poison was frozen by the terrifying extreme cold. How is it possible? The poison of the hooked dragon can even corrode the source power. It's just ice. Han Wuguang opened his mouth slightly, and looked at the immobile hooked dragon snake in shock. No, it's not right. This is definitely an ice skill with a higher level than the hooked dragon's poison. The hooked dragon's poison is a 6th level skill, which means that this dragon is releasing a 7th level epic skill. No wonder Jiren thought that the Kongming Frost Jiao was a quasi-overlord real Jiao. Han Wuguang suppressed the shock in his heart and calmly commanded, the hooked dragon's poison thorn breaks the ice and frost. However, the hooked dragon snake, whose mind was frozen at this moment, could not even sense the Beastmaster's order, and the bifurcated poison hook at the end of its tail was still motionless. Seize the opportunity to pursue the victory and end it with this space mirror. As Chen Wei gave the order, K-Ling showed excitement on her face. The next second, the space around the immobile hooked dragon snake set off a faint silver space ripple, and a flawless white space mirror completely overlapped and covered the hooked dragon snake and the entire battlefield space. The beast control contract has no feedback, and this frost can even stop thinking. Han Wuguang quickly figured out the function of this skill. Under his unwilling gaze, the hooked dragon venomous snake, which stood like a peak, began to show dense cracks on its body. As the sound of the mirror cracking continued, the poisonous dragon mirror that completely solidified the battlefield space suddenly appeared spider web-like cracks. Under this heavy blow, the hooked dragon venomous snake was not only forced to withdraw from the giant god poison armor posture, but even the indestructible scales became fragmented. Looking at the hooked dragon venomous snake that fell to the ground helplessly, the originally noisy spectator seats became dead silent. Especially the top 10 players in the Zui list who had fought with Han Wuguang many times, their eyes were full of disbelief. You know, Han Wuguang not only killed a severely injured 6th level king beast, Russian red ape, with a hooked dragon venomous snake in the 10,000 Beasts mountain range last year, but also forced a king beast master who had been promoted not long ago to retreat. As a result, such an extremely powerful poison-type pet, with full strength, only lasted 2 rounds? Even Jiren can fight Chen Wei back and forth. It seems that the title of Zui number 1 has fallen on you, Han Wuguang. Gao Jingshen's eyes flashed with disappointment. He could accept Han Wuguang's failure, but he couldn't accept this situation of being completely crushed. Seeing that the winner had been decided, Lu Zetian blew the whistle. Chen Wei won the first round. Please send out the second pet within 1 minute, otherwise it will be considered as admitting defeat. Damn space system. Han Wuguang's eyes flashed with a haze, and he took back the hooked dragon venomous snake that was not yet conscious. My junior is really as strong as the rumors say. The next pet I will send out is this one. After speaking, a dazzling red light burst out from the star ring on Han Wuguang's finger. Roar, a terrifying beast with a dark blue body, red eyes, and a slender body, 5 heads, each of which looks like a ferocious dinosaur, and venom constantly flowing from its mouth suddenly appeared. Name of pet, 5 prime ministers, pet attributes, poison, water, racial level, brilliant king, strength level, upper level 5, racial skills, 5-headed heart devouring, poison swamp flood, 5 life body, Azawa poisonous domain, petrified nightmare. Pet introduction. As a venomous snake that likes to drown and devour the earth with water, it can be exempted from 4 deaths. Where it is, the grass and trees wither, and the crops do not grow. The smell of venom flowing from its mouth alone can kill the beastmaster who does not take adequate protective measures. Note, 5 prime ministers can evolve into the dominant race, 7 Hell's Dust Snake, and can further evolve into the Emperor race, Yamada Giant Snake, and there is even a tiny chance that it will evolve into the legendary immortal demigod, 9-headed Xiangliu. Normal source energy value 123,189. The strength of this 5 prime minister Zet seems to be close to the limit of the 5th level king, Chen Wei thought to himself. Be careful, junior, the poison of this egg is higher than that of the hooked dragon venomous snake, Han Wuguang took the initiative to remind. They are all alumni, and he doesn't want to accidentally kill Chen Wei's dragon because of a battle. Seeing that Chen Wei had no intention of changing his pet, Lu Zetian blew the whistle with interest. In the audience, Gao Jingsheng showed a look of surprise on his face. Strange, Chen Wei has already sent out the trump card pet. Why is Han Wuguang still unwilling to send out the trump card, and only summoned the second strongest 5 prime ministers in the team? Isn't this underestimating the enemy? As the representative of the senior students of Zetian University, if Han Wuguang was defeated by a freshman one after another, where would the seniors put their face? Senior Han is finally getting serious. Unlike Gao Jingshen, seeing the appearance of 5 prime ministers Han Wuguang's followers stood up excitedly. That's it, no matter what kind of dragon it is, it has only one option, which is defeat in front of Wu Xiang's. Senior Han's hooked dragon viper has failed several times, but Wu Xiang's has never let us down. That's right, Chen Wei has only been a beastmaster for more than a year, and in this period of time he can only train a mature pet. Even though he is strong now, once the Kuangming Frost Dragon is defeated, he will be in an embarrassing situation of having no pet available. Everyone was talking. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 399, 1 vs 2. Chen Wei ignored the discussion in the audience. The moment the whistle sounded, he commanded Kai Ling to launch a fierce attack. Take the initiative and give it a taste of the holy dragon wrapping frost star falling. Kai Ling raised her head slightly and let out a high-pitched dragon roar. Boom, the cold wind whistled and the sky suddenly darkened. Under the shocked eyes of many spectators, silvery white frost condensed in the sky, and a huge frost star that almost covered the entire battlefield fell from the sky. Wherever the frost star passed, the surrounding space trembled. A doomsday scene like the collapse of the sky? This can't scare me. Han Wuguang looked up at the sky, with a clear arc on the corner of his mouth. Don't sleep, Xiangs, use your power to defeat it head-on. Poisonous swamp torrent. Hearing this, the sleepy snake eyes of the 5th Prime Minister Xiang suddenly opened, and endless waves of water emerged, just like an ancient flood ravaging the earth. The turbulent water flow continued to gather, and the floods all over the mountains and plains instantly turned the battlefield into an ocean. Looking at the vast river in front of him, Chen Wei frowned, held his breath decisively, and quickly took off under the control of Kai Ling's telekinesis to avoid the rolling flood with poisonous gas. It's such a big scene. If I weren't here, the defense of the battlefield alone wouldn't be able to withstand the impact of this nearly 6th level king. Although Lu Zizhan said he disliked it, it can be seen from his slightly glowing eyes that he admired both sides of this competition. Thunder Guard, Lu Zizhan put the majestic source power in his body into the battlefield defense system, and a thunder defense shield with magnificent power suddenly rose. The next second, the meteorite fell and the flood rushed to the sky. At the moment when the two collided with each other, a terrifying roar resounded through the sky, and the visible materialized shock wave swept all around with an unstoppable momentum. Sure enough, Han Wuguang's strength is close to that of a 6th-rank king. No wonder he has been at the top of the Ziwei ranking for 2 years. Chen Wei was secretly surprised as he looked at the flying broken ice crystals, the floods flowing freely on the ground, and the almost collapsed battle arena. Han Wuguang, there's a flaw. The 5 heads devour the heart. The figure of the 5 heads flashed, and 5 hideous heads spewed out poisonous smoke from their mouths and attacked Kai Ling's body. But just when the 5 heads were about to bite Kai Ling, a black light flashed, and its body paused slightly. Under the influence of an inexplicable force, it could not move, and fell down at a very fast speed. Slow down space. Looking at the 5 heads who were not hit quietly, Kai Ling's eyes condensed, and the source power in her body was vented without hesitation. Hiss. After hitting a deep pit on the ground, feeling the organs in her body being forcibly squeezed by an invisible force, the 5 heads could not help but let out a painful roar. Another high-level skill. Han Wuguang's face turned cold. But I also have this skill. Unleash the power in your blood, petrify nightmares. As Han Wuguang gave the order, Wu Xiaoxiang's completely ignored the gravity space that was suppressing him, and opened his snake eyes in a strange posture to look at Kai Ling. Swish, the air wave exploded. And a brown-yellow terrifying aurora suddenly shot from Wu Xiaoxiang's eyes to Kai Ling. Kai Ling flicked her tail, and a defensive barrier made of ice crystals suddenly formed. Looking at the aurora that easily passed through the ice wall, Kai Ling's dragon eyes widened, and she subconsciously swung her body to avoid it, and tried to release instant movement. Kazi, under Kai Ling's surprised eyes, layers of gray-brown stones quickly spread from her dragon claws that had brushed against the terrifying aurora. In the blink of an eye, her dragon claws were heavily covered with rocks, and she lost most of her consciousness. The overall situation is determined. Seeing that the skill that had been brewing for a long time finally hit, Han Wuguang couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. Skill, Petrified Nightmare, Level, Rank 7 Poison and Earth Dual Skills. Introduction, send out a terrifying petrified aurora to hit the enemy, causing petrification control and source power blockade suppression effects. The greater the difference in strength, the better the blockade effect. Up to 90% of the opponent's body can be blocked. You know, even a rank 6 king pet will fall into a petrified state after eating Wu Xiang's petrified nightmare head-on, and its strength will be greatly reduced, not to mention a rank 4 lower ice dragon. There is a big rank and 2 small rank differences in strength between the rank 5 upper and rank 4 lower. The dragon in front of you can exert 2 levels of combat power, which is amazing talent. The source power is blocked, and the effect of the holy dragon entanglement can only be exerted half. Kai Ling looked down at the rock dragon claw. How much confidence do you have in winning? Chen Wei asked in his mind. With Kai Ling's proud temperament, if he asked directly whether to change people, Kai Ling would definitely reject it. It's better to ask about the chances of winning. 100% sure, I can trade with it. Kai Ling's eyes flashed with ruthlessness. What's the price? Chen Wei worriedly asked. Kai Ling was a little embarrassed. It'll just cost a little bit of dragon essence. Hearing this, Chen Wei's face darkened. Rather than paying such a high price, it would be better to trade Yutong. But when he saw the expectation in Kai Ling's eyes, he couldn't help but soften his heart. 1 minute is okay, Chen Wei sighed in his heart. The dragon essence consumed would take at least 2 or 3 days of strengthening the dragon control power to make up, but it's good as long as Kai Ling is happy. 30 seconds will be enough. Kai Ling's eyes lit up. Then I'll leave it to you. In the second when Chen Wei and Kai Ling communicated with each other, Wu Xiaoxiang had already obeyed the command of the Beastmaster and spewed out a fierce water dragon that was like a waterfall. Buzz! As the dragon essence was triggered, a terrifying dragon might that overwhelmed the entire field spread out from Kai Ling's body, and even the crystallized dragon blood in her body flowed rapidly because of the stimulation of the dragon essence. What's going on? This dragon can explode again. Seeing Kai Ling's aura surging wildly, Han Wuguang's brain crashed instantly. Behind Kai Ling emerged a terrifying phantom of a purple-black dragon with 5 claws on each foot. The rocks covering her claws shattered under the suppression of a majestic source of power, leaving only a few indelible stone marks. It's over. Feeling the blocked power in her body quietly recovering, even more powerful than before, Kayling couldn't help but raise her indestructible dragon claws, and the ultimate power burst out. Before the surging water dragon completely submerged Kayling, she thrust out her dragon claws at the same time as the phantom of the dragon behind her with an unstoppable momentum. Then, under the incredible gaze of countless spectators, Kayling's dragon claws first penetrated the roaring water dragon, and then fiercely bombarded the 5 vicious bloody mouths that gathered in an instant to counterattack in the 5 Prime Minister's lake. Boom, accompanied by a thunderous roar and source power fluctuations, like an atomic bomb explosion. The sudden burst of strong light made everyone present close their eyes, except for the referee Lu Zixian, who had a solemn expression. What a terrible young man. Chapter 400, Azure Wood Dragon. The Yangtze River's back waves push the front waves. With such an outstanding freshman like Chen Wei, Zhejiang University may be able to return to the top of the national beast-controlling universities in the next 4 years, Lu Zixian sighed in his heart as he looked at Kayling, who easily tore through the waves and almost smashed both heads of Wu Xiang's. Chen Wei, the winner of the second round, please ask Han Wuguang to send out the third pet within 1 minute. As Lu Zixian's voice spread throughout the venue, the audience, who were blinded by the strong light and barely opened their eyes, were all shocked. Even Chen Wei's fans felt a sense of unreality in their hearts. They knew that Chen Wei was very strong, and could even be said to be the strongest freshman in the history of Zhejiang University. After all, there were only a few senior students in Zhejiang University who could defeat Ji Ren. But they never thought that Han Wuguang, who had topped the Zhiwei ranking for 2 consecutive years and had unique strength, would be directly defeated by Chen Wei with the dragon in an unmatched manner. Could it be that Chen Wei can really top the Zhiwei list? In the audience, Gao Jingsheng couldn't help swallowing his throat, his voice a little bitter. Unlike the high-spirited freshmen, only the old students know how terrifying Han Wuguang's dominance is in Zhejiang University. And such a top genius is about to be pulled down by a freshman who is less than 20 years old. You are really young and formidable, but it's a pity that I didn't get to fight you at the beginning. On the other side, Peng Yu showed some excitement on his face. I will be able to collect the credits in 10 days, and I will definitely challenge you then. I am really looking forward to it more and more. Don't worry, Senior Han still has a trump card. That monster dragon is ridiculously strong. It shouldn't be difficult to fight 3 people alone. The Chongsam woman frowned slightly. Senior Han has actually lost. No matter whether Chen Wei wins or loses this challenge, give him another year. Who do you think can stop him from reaching the top in Zhejiang University? Su Chengshan said with envy. Youth is capital. With the strength and potential shown by Chen Wei, even if Han Wuguang can stop him for a while, he may not be able to stop him forever. Knowing that they can't stop Chen Wei, some sensible guys may give way early. Even now, there are probably many beast control families who want to maintain a good relationship with Chen Wei for the future. After all, how can icing on the cake be better than sending charcoal in the snow? Excuse me, does contestant Chen Wei need to change his pet? Lu Zixian reminded Kayling, who was petrified and in poor condition. I choose to change. After saying that, Chen Wei took out a bottle of 4th level elixir that can remove abnormal status from the star ring and fed it to Kayling. However, after taking the elixir, the stubborn rock covering Kayling's dragon claws still did not fall off. Seeing this, Han Wuguang did not rush to summon the last pet, but took out an elixir and handed it to Chen Wei, then observed Chen Wei curiously, as if he wanted to see through him. The petrified nightmare cannot be cured by ordinary pills. A special pill is needed, thank you. Chen Wei's eyes flashed with golden light. After confirming that there was no problem with the pill in his hand, he quickly fed it to Kayling. Contestant Han Wuguang, please pay attention. You have 10 seconds left to summon, Lu Zixian suddenly said. Upon hearing this, Han Wuguang's eyes suddenly became serious, and the star ring between his fingers burst into light. A dragon roar like a muffled thunder sounded, and a terrifying dragon suddenly appeared. This is a dragon with a dark green body, dozens of emerald green dragon horns on its head that spread out like branches, a pair of dragon eyes like emerald gems, brown-yellow scales on the back, and thorns extending, dark green dragon scales on the abdomen, no limbs, and a slender tail that is always buried in the ground. The moment the giant dragon appeared, the terrifying dragon might suddenly erupted, and a green aura that seemed to materialize the momentum burst out from its body, causing countless arcs to explode, and even the ground of the platform began to crack and shatter. Seeing the appearance of the strange giant dragon, the originally quiet audience suddenly burst into an uproar. Fuck, what a mighty real dragon! No wonder Senior Han has always been at the top of the Zui ranking. It turns out that he has contracted a real dragon, materialized momentum. This is the power of the Overlord's coercion. Many freshmen had a dull look on their faces, and subconsciously showed a bit of desire on their faces. This is a real dragon. In Donghua, where dragons are respected, most beastmasters have no enough power and status, let alone contracting a real dragon, and even seeing a real dragon with their own eyes is difficult. To a certain extent, the status of the Overlord real dragon in Donghua is as dangerous and deterrent as Chen Wei's nuclear bomb in his previous life. Generally, only beastmaster families with epic or above masters are eligible to obtain it. Pet name, King Gaia Wood Dragon. Pet attributes, Wood, Fire, Dragon. Racial level, Epic Overlord. Strength level, lower level 5. Racial skills, Instant Dragon 1000 attacks, King Gaia Dragon Breath, Deep Roots, Thorn Dragon Forest, King Gaia Domain, Overlord Pressure. Pet introduction. As a plant-based true dragon born from the power of the stars, King Gaia Wood Dragon has an unbreakable defense and an indestructible terrifying destructive power, but there are gains and losses. King Gaia Wood Dragon's movement speed and flexibility are extremely low, and it cannot recover from injuries by swallowing plant essences. It can only greatly enhance its own attack and defense. Epic Overlord Race. Chen Wei's face changed slightly after identifying the information of King Gaia Wood Dragon with the delusion-breaking spirit eyes. Although they are both fighting, the autonomous Han Liuli Dragon and the King Gaia Wood Dragon, under the command of a Beastmaster, are completely different. Be careful, Junior. Zhao King and I are still in the running-in period, so it's hard to control the power of our skills. Han Wuguang took the initiative to remind him, laying the groundwork for him to secretly use the talent of the snake-swallowing dragon. Understood, pets will inevitably get hurt in battle. Chen Wei narrowed his eyes and chose to summon Yutuang. Me, another dragon. Looking at the huge monster in the distance, Yutuang changed her previous lazy look, and her mysterious and noble aura burst out. Boom, like a thunderbolt in the clear sky, the collision of the auras of the two pets even cracked the clouds above the battlefield. The sky cracked. Many viewers watching the live broadcast looked at the sky where the camera was pointed, and couldn't help but open their mouths wide, stunned. Even the large amount of barrage in the live broadcast that almost covered the entire big screen stopped. What's going on? Is this a rare fight between a cat and a dragon? The two are obviously very different in size, but judging from their auras, why do I always feel that the cat has a chance of winning? A fight between a dragon and a tiger sounds better. Han Wuguang is worthy of being the most outstanding talent in Nanjiang province in recent years, as he was able to subdue a real dragon when he was still a student. Don't daydream. A real dragon is a powerful pet that can fight against a dominant real dragon. A duel with a dominant real dragon? I declare the match over. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.